You're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States.FM network. Here we go, another Sunday, another show. You're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna on KTOX 1340 AM and on United States.FM network. Guys, you know very well where is my heart. I have no allegiance to none but to the truth. And I don't believe in parties. I believe that both parties, they're pretty much to divide us and conquer us. Yes, of course, sometimes we have differences. At least we used to. Not anymore. They are the same. That's why I burned my Republican card almost now, 6 months ago? Because I really believe that there is no difference. They're all working for the same special interest, and this is not for the American people. And more important, if we believe that we're supposed to be a republic, where we have pretty much unalienable rights, number one, and then also we're supposed to follow the Constitution, both parties have failed us. Today's show, my goal is to prove with facts, with evidence, with the hard work of a man and an organization of people that they're trying to do this. Just try to bring facts and make you think that we've been duped, not just with Bush, but we've been pretty much stolen and frauded by Obama. And there is no difference between an Obama and a Bush. And this is organization you will see. I mean, it's amazing. You know, I couldn't believe how much hard work they did to compile links and links to facts, documents, evidence, exposing the true records of Obama. At the end of the day, is exactly the same, if no worse, than one of former President Bush. So, and this is not just me saying it. That's why I wanted to bring this person, and I'm really thankful. Today I have with me Chris Ernesto from Florida. Chris, are you there?
I'm here, Luca.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate, first of all, what you've been doing, because this is some sort of, I call it activist work. In a way, activist, somebody that is not lazy, and you bust your butt to try to bring facts and truth to the rest of the people here in America to wake up. What is the organization you volunteer for?
The group is called StPete for Peace, and we started in 2003, and we've been active since.
Wow. As the name says, you know, you're in StPete, Florida, correct?
That's correct.
And peace means peace, no war, correct? We agree on that. Yeah, because now, you know, peace means war and war means peace. You know, it's like 1984. You know, so peace means really peace. That means a non-aggressive policy unless for self-defense. We agree on that, correct?
Completely.
Perfect. And we agree, and that's the bottom line, guys. You know, we may have differences of opinions in maybe socioeconomics or some other issues, but one thing we should agree. If we believe in the United States Constitution, if we believe in the principle of our founding fathers, never our founding fathers wanted to be in these foreign wars. George Washington's farewell address, it told us very clearly. And let's not forget, a great military figure of this country was a former general, my brain is burning right now, my gosh, let's see if I forget it completely. Anyway, was the most famous general during World War I, who wrote also a book, War is a Racket. Chris, help me out, maybe you know him.
Smedley Butler.
Yes, I knew you were going to say it right. My brain was freezing today. Anyway, General Butler, spell it out. Tell us a little bit about General Butler. Let's start from him, because it's so important, this figure, to understand what's going on with the profiteering on wars. Who was General Butler, Chris?
Yeah, you know, the point that he made about war being a racket, the fact that was made nearly 100 years ago couldn't be any more true than it is today. War is a racket. It doesn't benefit the people. It benefits a certain number of individuals and companies who can make a fortune of it from it, and who can also use the war to control people, whether that's a country abroad or the people at home. So Smedley Butler had it dead on, and I wish there were generals today who would speak the way that he did.
Exactly. And this is so important because, you know, this is not about politics. This is not about funny left or funny right. This is about the truth. We're really in a sane mind, okay? Would, first of all, send innocent people to die and to kill other innocent people. Seriously. Just some mega corrupted politicians But the problem that we've been brainwashed. The problem that we've been told this is for our safety. The problem that we've been told this is for our country. It is not. And I tell you guys, I am no left, no right. I'm here just for the facts. I was even born here. I came later, okay? I became an American, and my only goal is to defend the Republic, and my only goal is to stand for the truth. Now, this is so important because I want to go back to your website. First of all, let's give your website out because it's vital. StPete4peace.org, correct?
That's correct.
Perfect. Now, the focus today was, in my humble mission, is to bring facts and logic out there to prove, with facts, no emotions, that both, let's say, political puppets, because they are puppets, these people, they don't decide anything. They just follow an agenda that's been pretty much predetermined before. Bush and Obama, there is no difference between them. The only difference that probably Obama, I think, has been doing and is done more than Bush, because he could get away with that, because after all, is the Democratic ticket and is not white. Now, I'm not saying this because I enjoy it. I was criticizing Bush. I was one of the first former Republicans going after Bush with his Patriot Act, the Military Commission Act, and the fraud of 9/11, all these things. But now is the point that for the people that consider themselves liberals, and for me, guys, if you follow Obama, you're not liberals. You have brown shirts at this point. The real liberals are people like StPete for peace, people who believe at least in stick with the principle of peace. You're now supporting a guy, a man, an individual who is a warmonger, who is droning the hell out of innocents, who passed under his watch the National Defense Authorization Act, something that is even Bush did. I mean, Bush did the Patriot Act, was terrible, but this is even worse. So here we have the expert. I have the person that put the work together. You go to StPete4peace.org and you will see it. It's an act of love. I consider this an act of love because it's so much work to put all this stuff together. So please, Chris, I give you the floor. Start to do your case. Whatever you want to say about, let's start to bring to our fellow Americans. Let's try to wake them up and tell them, guys, people who voted for Obama and they still support Obama, if you were criticizing Bush, you must be insane because there is no difference. What do you think about this statement?
Well, I think you're not only accurate, you're probably even understating it. At some of our rallies, we always have a chant, and we say, Bush, Obama, same old drama. But that's not even accurate because Obama is worse than Bush.
Oh, my God.
And you said it correctly that he can get away with these things because he speaks much better than Bush spoke. He has a telegenic appearance, and he says these things that he's for peace. But we knew even before he was elected the first time that he was not a man of peace because he said while he was in the Senate that not all wars are all bad. It's just dumb wars are bad. So he made it clear. As a U.S. Senator, he co-sponsored a bill that gave the United States support of Israel as Israel was bombing Lebanon in 2006. So we knew right up front this man has bombed he's dropped bombs in 7 countries. Wow. And George Bush dropped bombs in 4 countries. And people don't believe us, but we go down the list. Yemen, Somalia, Pakistan, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and now he's dropping bombs in Syria. George Bush only dropped bombs in 4. 4 was too many. This man has taken it to another level. He's supporting neo-Nazis in Ukraine. George Bush would not have been able to get away with that.
Exactly.
We know that people who call themselves liberals would have been jumping on the fence. When we got started in 2003, we came to Washington, D.C. for a pre-Iraq protest, and there were hundreds of thousands of people. I'm a statistician. That's my profession. And for about 2.5 hours, I sat on Constitution Avenue doing head counts, and I eventually had to stop because I was missing out on the fun. But I stopped at 225,000. Wow. On the drive back to Florida, we stopped to get dinner, and we were watching ABC News, and they said there were 10,000 people protesting in Washington today. And at that moment, the 24 of us who came up from Florida to go to D.C. knew that we had to do something on a regular basis to bring the facts to the table. So we made a decision to start protesting twice a week and to start a website that would simply be based on facts and no opinion, that we would be nonpartisan, and we would always stand against war. And that's what we've been doing since. People have been surprised that we've been protesting for the past 6 years with Obama, but we told them all along, we don't believe in the party system. It's rigged. What we do believe in is peace and justice and equality, and we're not getting it from the Obama administration.
Exactly. And this is, guys, sometimes I get kind of exasperated, but I'm trying to reach out now, especially people that they think that we are different, that they are considered, I'm some sort of a libertarian guy. I believe in freedom and respecting each other, okay? But regardless, I don't consider myself as a party. I just consider that I have rights and I don't infringe on other people's rights. That's it. But I also believe that I suppose not to be using our tax dollar to create crises around the world and then fix crises around the world and then kill innocent people, and then at the end of the day we go broke because every round that we shoot today or every bomb that we drop, let's just do it for starter, we are broke. We are going to China to ask for begging for money and go ourselves in debt and put our next generation in debt because we cannot even afford anymore to pay our own bills in our own country. So first of all, anybody who supports today any type of unconstitutional war, let's not forget, I think wars is bad no matter what and where. The only war I support is for self-defense. But if you really want to go to war, the last war we fought legally, according to our constitution, was World War II. Everything after that, confirm me if I'm wrong, I know I'm right on this one, starting from the Korean War, it wasn't a war. It was just pretty much a police action, or international police action, under the United Nations umbrella. So, all the people on the right, they believe that the constitution is our law of the land, let's start to wake up. Every conflict, because it's called conflict, that we fought after World War II was unconstitutional. Okay? Do you agree with this statement with me on this one? Everything after World War II was everything pretty much a fraud. I mean, it wasn't even a constitutional war.
Yeah, none of the military conflicts we've had since then have been approved by Congress, and Obama's taken it even further. He didn't even bother going to Congress to ask them if they wanted to support a war in Libya.
Exactly.
He did that on his own. And he wanted to start a war in Syria 2 years ago, but he knew if he put it in front of Congress that there was a wide backlash from the Republican Party that would not have allowed it to go through, because the Republican Party at that time was wise enough to know that if we were going to go into a war in Syria, we would be fighting on the same side as Al-Qaeda, who was supposed to be our enemy. And like I said, we go around the world, we bomb people, we destroy them, then we have to build them back up, we have to rearm. It's just an endless cycle that doesn't help anybody, yet they claim we're the humanitarian leader of the world.
Why I'm stressing this so much? This is probably one of the most important things. And I tell you, there are different aspects, at least for me, Chris, I'm sure for you too. First of all, it's a moral thing. The moment that we are silent, we are responsible. Okay, I can go back to sleep at night thinking that in my name, in our name, with our tax dollar, they are killing innocents of millions of innocent people, thousands, millions with the years, of course, without even, these people have done nothing, they're in their homes. I mean, how many innocent people died between the last 10 years, you think, between Afghanistan, Iraq, and maybe Syria? What do you think, how many people die, you think? People that were civilians?
According to the most conservative estimates, there was an average of 3,000 people killed in Iraq every month for 6 years.
Oh, my God.
So that'd be like this, on September 11th, 3,000 people were killed here. Iraq had a September 11th every month for 6 straight years because of the U.S. military. When you then add in Afghanistan and Libya and Pakistan, the number comes very close to 900,000 people conservatively.
I mean,
Luke,
I'm freaking out.
I'm with you, Luca. I have a hard time with that personally. It's very difficult for me to sleep because those people are being killed with my tax dollars and in my name.
This is not a video game, guys. I know a lot of people that I know, that you call yourself Christian, okay? Come on, guys. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm not a preacher. I'm a sinner, and I'm just trying to learn. I believe in Christ. But Christ never said go out and start to bomb everybody out there. I mean, how can you go to sleep at night thinking that it's okay to kill thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, that they are just regular people minding their business? This is sad. I'm crying sometimes about this. Now, number one thing, that's why I say we need to bring this opportunity to think, because the moment that we are silent, and we comply, we are morally responsible. Today you may just say whatever. I really believe in an afterlife you're going to be judged. Because you are an accessory to murder, to mass murder. That's my opinion. And people who are now supporting Obama, you are not better than the people who were supporting Bush for these unconstitutional wars. Simple as that. Honestly, you are worst. Because at least these people, they were coherent. You are completely now hypocritical. That's my point. Number one. Number two, we are broke. Okay? We are broke. This country is going to hell. We have no more roads. We have people without homes. We have, 100 million people on benefits. I mean, it's getting to a disaster. Any logic mind, any person who has common sense, even if it was a warmonger, would say, wait a second, we cannot afford anymore to be spread out in 128 countries or whatever. We need to stop. We need to regroup. This is insane. And it is happening from both parties. I see many Republicans, of course, most of them, and many Democrats are still going for Syria and Yemen, all these little things like it's a video game. What do you think about that? Are we broke or not? Chris?
Oh, no, we are so completely broke. You know, one of the reasons the United States has to maintain its military edge is without that, we're not exceptional at anything. The only reason that we still have control of the IMF and the World Bank and the United Nations and all the other puppet world organizations is because militarily these places know that bottom line, if the United States needs to use force, it will. And so the benefits that we have from that is that when we go broke, we have the IMF bailing us out, and we have the World Bank that doesn't make our currency completely crash like it normally would. In Zimbabwe, their currency went to hell because they overspent, and the IMF and World Bank didn't bail them out. So, exactly. Yeah, we're broke not only financially, but morally. I'm with you, Luca. People who call themselves Christians better read that New Testament.
Exactly.
Because Jesus was a man of peace, and he would never bomb anybody under any circumstance. Now, I'm not a pacifist. If somebody hits me, I'm going to hit back. But I would never go hit anybody first. Jesus wouldn't even hit him back. So all these people, whether it was George Bush or Barack Obama, who claim they're Christians, they're just as much fake Christians as the people who claim that they believe in Islam and then go and bomb people. Neither Christianity nor Islam believes in using violence as a conflict mechanism tool. So these people are hypocrites. And even further with what you said about liberals, I am so with you. I view them in much less, those liberals who support Barack Obama today, at least the Bush people, they said, we want war, we want spying, we want torture. At least they're honest.
Exactly.
The Obama people, they were out there on the streets decrying what Bush was doing, and now that their guy's doing it, they're silent. And those people used the anti-war movement just to push their political agenda, just so their guy could get in power. And I look at those people with a much higher level of disdain.
I agree. And, and people remember when they were freaking out, and I was freaking out about the Patriot Act 1 and 2. My gosh. I mean, the Military Commission Act, all the beginning of all this preparation of Homeland Security. I mean, like the Nazi, okay? Homeland, got you the idea? And everybody said, oh, but after all, we know it's not for us. It's for the people with the turbans, nothing to worry about it. I remember I went to our local sheriff here. Don't worry about the Patriot Act. Even he says what he says, it's not going to happen to you. Really? Who says so? And now, of course, we are the domestic terrorists. If you believe in peace, if you criticize the government, if you are a libertarian, if you are a constitutionalist, if you are a Christian, if you are a gun owner, there is a long list. That is for everybody. We are all potential domestic terrorists. But now, Obama went 2 miles deeper in hell with the new Patriot Act. It's called the National Defense Authorization Act, and it's even worse. I've been talking about this since pretty much it happened, since I started the show. But please, my listeners, they are tired to listen for me. Give me the simple version that everybody can understand out there. What is the National Defense Authorization Act? The Congress voted for it on demand also of Obama. They really wanted it so bad.
Yeah, that's right. We thought the Patriot Act was bad, and after Obama signed the Patriot Act extension, we thought that was bad enough. But what he has done with the NDAA in terms of making domestic spying, he wants warrantless searches on cell phones. His NSA spying program has taken us to what the Stasi had in East Germany, we have a war on whistleblowers. Obama has prosecuted more whistleblowers than every other president combined.
Wow.
He has prosecuted more people for leaking than every other president combined. Obama, as a part of the NBA, put in a thing that was called the Insider Threat Program, which ordered all federal employees to report suspicious behaviors of other employees. He was telling every federal employee that it was their duty to spy on their coworkers, and if they didn't, and something came out about their coworker, that the person who didn't do the reporting could be brought up on charges.
Wow.
This is what the constitutional lawyer has done.
You know, this is, guys, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm living in a bad movie, Chris. Seriously, I start to believe, you know, this is supposed to be so black and white, okay? I mean, you think now, finally, you have people that 6 years ago, they were complaining against Bush, and I was with them, you know? Even I was technically a registered Republican. I was the worst Republican on the book. I was always after these bastards, because it was my duty as a human being and as American to expose evil, okay? But now I see all these Democrats, they completely look like worse than the neocons. Seriously. I mean, at least, as you said, the neocons, they were honest. Yes, I want spy. I want more TSA. I want more Homeland Security. I want more illegal wars. Give me that. No, this is like body snatchers took into these people. I don't understand how you guys, Democrats who still support Obama, can you go to sleep at night? Seriously, I have serious problems. Now, I'm not trying to call your names. I beg you, as an American, to wake up. It's already late. I mean, this guy is already done damages. We're almost at the end. But it's never too late to at least recognize that we were wrong and you were wrong, and to try to morally stop this. Let them know that we are not anymore, you are not anymore, I never was, under his spell. Now, talking about other horrendous things that Obama did along with Bush, okay? I mean, first of all, we want to know that the TSA, it's a scam. You agree with me on that one? I mean, what do you think about the TSA situation here?
Oh, it's an abomination. I got detained at the airport about 3 months ago, and it was humiliating. I nearly missed a flight, and they made me step in a puddle of chemicals, and they brought over the bomb squad, and they surrounded me, and I was wearing a T-shirt that day that said Arab Revolution 2011, and it was from the Yemen Peace Project, and I didn't realize I was wearing it, and one of the TSA guy said, well, what does your T-shirt mean? I looked down, I said, oh, no. Gosh, I'm in trouble, aren't I?
No,
and, you know, and luckily I have another T-shirt that says, when Obama does it, is it okay? And it has a picture of Obama on a bomb. I'm like, well, at least I didn't wear that T-shirt. But unfortunately, Barack Obama has defended the body scans at airports. He has pushed for that. And, you know, for anybody who's a Democrat who hears him say that, it's the same people who are Democrats or environmentalists, but Barack Obama has done a TV commercial for clean coal. He is pushed for nuclear power even after the Fukushima disaster in Japan, and Obama opened up deep water drilling even after the BP oil spill, and then he topped it off by signing the Monsanto Protection Act into law. So anybody who's an environmentalist and a liberal has to be appalled by him, but they don't because they're afraid that he's just the lesser of two evils. You know, the same guy, he's deported a record number of immigrants, yet these people still vote for him because they're afraid of what a Republican would do. These people do need to wake up, Luca.
Okay, listen, and you know, it's funny because, as I said before at the beginning, we have made things we agree, and maybe some things we disagree, and that's fine. The bottom line here is we need to talk first about the most vital thing. We've been used, we've been abused, and they using this illusion of funny left, funny right. You know, I don't need to agree on everything with Chris, and you don't need to agree on everything with me, because I was an immigrant myself, Chris, and I was born in Rome, and I came here with, you know, through the embassy and all this stuff, and I got my visa. So I have maybe a different vision about what means to be deported if you cross the border illegally. But that's, you see, that's the beautiful thing about this issue. We need to focus the most important thing first. They are using this country, our name, to destroy our morals and to kill millions of people. And we need to put aside for a moment even things that we may disagree, maybe socioeconomic or maybe immigration. That's fine. We don't need to agree on everything. But this one, that's why I'm trying to reach out to fellow Democrats, or what they call themselves the liberals. We need to understand that we've been stolen the truth. I mean, you guys, you're drinking the Kool-Aid. Obama is worse than Bush. That's the bottom line. And talking about Monsanto, something is so close to me. I love food. I love to eat healthy, and I believe we are what we eat. And everybody out there now starts to understand what means GMO. And now we have a man in the White House that pretty much, what did he do exactly? Repeat it to our friends, Democrats. What did he do, Obama, with Monsanto? What did he sign?
It was called the Monsanto Protection Act, and what it did is it shielded Monsanto from any type of lawsuit that could come against them because of their pushing of the GMOs and how they're taking over local farms. His act shields them from any prosecution.
I mean, right there. I mean, Bush did the same thing with the vaccine corporations. Now everybody must get their vaccine, of course, and Bush gave him immunity. So you can even sue him technically. Of course, you can sue him, but it's harder. And Obama instead did the same with the Monsanto. How is that defendable? How can you be so drugged and I don't know what type of medication they give you to still support this act of evil? Seriously, guys. And I'm not trying to be mean here. So all I'm saying, Chris, you've done an excellent job. Seriously, this is and the site is always updated. StPete4Peace.org, links directly to facts, laws, executive orders. I mean, everything is there. And all I wanted to do, please, I don't care what you believe, but if you believe in factual truth, you need to start to do your homework. Go to the website, share it with your friends, with your family. And if you made a mistake, or if you were under the spell of this magic spell that you still believe Obama is the fairy tale or whatever you think it is, guess what? It's time to wake up. We can be forgiven. I believe there is always an opportunity to get forgiven and admitting that we were guilty, we were wrong. Okay, so I want to give you the floor because, sometimes I talk too much, Chris. Whatever you want to say about this topic. My goal is only to wake up our fellow Americans. I don't care which party. We need to be waking up. We are really in danger here. Are you familiar with also J. Elm 15, this scenario of martial law coming pretty soon, any days, in America?
Yeah, the fact that we have a severe problem right now with the relations between the everyday person and the police. And it's not just African Americans that feel the brutality of the police. It's people who don't have a lot of money. It's people who speak up against the system. I think what Obama, the worst thing that he has done is he's perpetuated this myth that America is exceptional, that we are the leaders of the world, that it's up to us to do everything. I believe in peace and justice and freedom and equality for everybody, regardless of where they were born. It doesn't matter to me. Because if it really came down to it, I'd be thrown off of this land and the indigenous Native Americans would tell me, get out of here. And I don't think that they have that right. I wasn't the one who did it. But what Obama has done is he's perpetuated this myth. As a matter of fact, we killed a couple people in Pakistan with a drone strike, and the people were hostages. This was revealed a couple days ago.
Yeah.
For some reason, this happened in January, but we're not being told about it until today. So Obama gets on TV and he gives a speech, and he sounds really apologetic, and he's really somber. But even while doing that, he still has the nerve to squeak in there, and he says, even though we're really sorry, we're still exceptional as Americans. And I praise the outstanding U.S. intelligence community. Well, how is he praising the intelligence community? They just bombed a place with an American hostage, an Italian hostage.
Okay.
So the man is afraid to speak up against the establishment. He's afraid to say things that are the truth. And part of the reason is because people on the right have claimed that he's not an American citizen, that he's a Muslim, that he was born in Kenya. They need to wake up to see what this man is doing. This man has perpetuated the myth that the United States is king of the world, and it does nobody any good. And that's one of the reasons, this man has given blanket support to Israel, yet for 3 months all we read in the newspaper is how there's a spat between Obama and Benjamin Netanyahu. That's a big sham. The whole time that was going on, Israel was bombing the hell out of Gaza, and Obama gave him the thumbs up. The United States continues to sell weapons to Israel. The United States has always vetoed any UN sanction against Israel. The United States also stopped the state of Palestine from becoming an official state with its vote in the United Nations, yet the people continue to say, oh, Obama's not supporting Israel. That's just a big hoax. So people on both sides of the equation would be well suited to, instead of looking at it as Republican or Democrat or left or right, just look at it as it's the people and it's the people in power. Because the people in power, whether it's John Boehner or Joseph Biden, it's virtually all the same. There's very little differentiation. And the other argument that I constantly hear is, and I hear this from some pretty progressive people on the left side. They say, well, I don't like either party, but when I get into the ballot box, I'm going to have to vote for the Democrat because they may be able to nominate a Supreme Court justice, and that might make the difference between the right to have an abortion and on guns rights. And that is one of the biggest hoaxes that has been perpetuated on the people. First of all, if we had a democracy in this country, the Supreme Court would have to be voted in, and they could be voted out. But they cannot be voted out, and they are not voted in, and yet they are the ultimate lawmakers in this country. That's the first thing. The second thing is they are never going to try to take away the guns from the American people, because that is the one thing that would get millions of people on the street and could potentially start a revolution. And they will never try to overturn Roe v. Wade. It will never happen, because there would be millions of women who refuse to go to work and who refuse to vote Democrat, who would refuse. It would never happen. Those two issues are the biggest they're smoke screens to get people to ultimately choose one side or the other. And both sides of the equation need to realize those are just little red herrings to keep them distracted from really what's going on.
Perfect. And Chris is great. I love this part of the show because, I really believe you are a true liberal, okay? And, we may have a lot of things that we agree. Of course, we have things that we are different opinion, but that's great because that's my point, guys. I'm here. We have a 911 crisis here. We're all in danger. We all pretty much could be disappearing. We all could be put in, not even in jail, in the dungeon, okay? Guantanamo is still open, by the way, but that's not even going to be the best place. That's only for the good people, because at least you got a good view on the ocean. You're going to probably be stuck in some third world dungeon under the CIA under National Defense Authorization Act. So with the point is we need to unite as Americans, even people we have differences of opinion on some other topics, and expose the fraud of both parties. Because, as you read my little bit about me, maybe we have little things that we have maybe a little different. I am a pro-gun Second Amendment guy. I do not believe in abortion, but doesn't matter. Right now we must stick together, because what they're doing to us, these puppets, they are puppets. They are nothing. They're just following the orders of the central bankers, okay? They are creating crisis after crisis, and they are destroying our basic human rights. The Bill of Rights is gone to the toilet. There is nothing left. So we must unite. I want to look for real liberals out there that wants to pretty much join with people like, maybe I consider myself more of a libertarian. Some other people, they may consider themselves conservative. Doesn't matter. We stick now for the basic. The basic, we have human, unalienable rights. And number one. Number two, we're not going to kill anybody unless for self-defense. Because first of all, we have not the money, but more important, before that, it's the moral thing to do. Okay? It's immoral to go out there and kill millions of people. One of the things made me cry, really, about the Al-Awlaki, the 16-year-old son. It was an American kid, and his father, by the way, used to work for the Pentagon. Remind to this little bit a short story of those two American citizens killed by Obama with a drone without trial. Please.
Yeah, so Obama started his secret kill list, and he would have what was referred to as Terror Tuesdays, where every Tuesday he would get together in the White House with the big brass and decide who they were going to kill via drone strikes.
Wow.
And at one point they decided that they were going to go after Anwar al-Awlaki, a man who was born in Denver, Colorado, who at one point was working with, like you said, he was working with the U.S. intelligence agency, and he saw what was going on in the Middle East and decided to speak up against it. He was very good at using the internet to spread his message, and he got a following. The United States couldn't have it. At the same time, he had roots in Yemen. He had some family in Yemen, so he went there, and the United States started a drone war in December of 2009 in Yemen, and the start of Obama's drone war in Yemen targeted a village called Al-Majala, where they ended up slaughtering 39 innocent people and a farm with livelihood, and they said that they were targeting Al-Qaeda of the Arabian Peninsula. And all it did was kill innocent people and create more enemies. Shortly thereafter that, they targeted Anwar al-Awlaki, and they killed him. And very shortly after that, they killed his 16-year-old son and one of his friends who were walking in the deserts of Yemen. And we are still told how precise these drones are. It's an abomination that drones are used in any form of war. I have a lot more respect for suicide bombers, because suicide bombers at least have the decency to kill themselves as they're killing other people. I don't agree with it. I believe suicide bombing is counterproductive and morally wrong. But a person who operates a drone from the desert of Nevada and is using a joystick to target people in Afghanistan has no courage whatsoever. If you're going to be a warrior, you at least need to put yourself at risk and not kill somebody and then go out to Taco Bell for lunch thereafter.
You know what? I must agree with you. It's a fact. It's a fact, guys. Think about now, everybody that says, oh, but after all, they must be terrorists. Must be? Do you believe still in due process? Those two people, they were human beings and they were Americans on top. And they did deserve a trial, like every one of us deserve a due process and a trial. Otherwise, tomorrow, you know what, maybe you could happen to you. What if maybe by accident, let's just by accident, the government, after all, is pretty much incompetent on many issues. They put the wrong name in the wrong computer database, or somebody who sounds like you, same last name. Boom, you wake up in the morning and you see just a little bit of smoke there. Guys, this is scary. Not even Hitler did this stuff, because he didn't have the technology to do this stuff. You understand that? So now the fact is, we broke the pretty much the wall of things that nobody really complained that much, because after all, he was just a guy with a turban and with a long beard, but he was an American, and so his son. And they were innocent, because he's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. For all the constitutionalists out there and the conservative who believes in the Constitution, this is supposed to be pretty much basic 101. Basic 101. Because next time, now we are so brainwashed, we think, oh, this is happening in Yemen. After all, the guy is sounding like a strange last name, hard to remember. Next time could be maybe to Anderson, or to whatever last name could be, American name. So guys, it's really serious, this one. That's why I'm reaching out. I'm glad you came on the show, Chris. I really appreciate it. And I wanted to show the rest of the listeners, this is not anymore about left or right. It's not anymore about funny left and funny right. It's about right or wrong. Freedom or tyranny. Let's start with that. We need to take this country back, and then we can, first of all, I believe, maybe different things about social economy, but I tell you something, if I had to start to be a socialist or share the tax dollar, let's start to give it to our people. When we stop all these wars, we would have enough money to take care of every American. Do you agree with me on that or not? How much we get robbed every year with all this military-industrial complex for all these conflicts out there? How many trillions, Chris?
Yeah, their official number is $675 billion, but that doesn't include special operations, and that doesn't include the CIA. So if you look at it just as a percentage of our tax dollars, 25 cents out of every dollar. So 25% of your tax dollars goes towards the military. And if we, instead of, even if we just cut it in half just for domestic defense, if we, have the military inside the U.S. borders, and any country that's silly enough to try to cross the Atlantic or the Pacific to try to invade the United States, we'd be prepared. I have never once lost a minute of sleep worrying about whether someone's going to come invade us. And, was bin Laden really going to come in and shred the Constitution? It's beyond mythical that they get people actually believing that. So if we're spending about $1 trillion a year on the military, I would much rather have that money just not have a deficit, or provide free education for every single student as long as they want to go through college. I mean, Libya, under Muammar Gaddafi, he gave every Libyan free education all the way through college. And he didn't have to add taxes. He just wasn't spending $1 trillion a year. In Cuba, who's been embargoed for over 50 years, their people get free education, not because they add taxes, because they have their priorities right. I don't believe in additional taxes. I didn't believe in the Wall Street bailout. Unfortunately, it was the Democratic Party who voted for that bailout. The Republican Party voted against the bailout in 2008, the Wall Street bailout. It was the Democrats who voted for it. I don't believe in bailouts for the corporations. I don't believe in raising taxes ever. And it was pretty interesting. About a year ago, we had a discussion because as anti-war activists, we constantly come under the thumb of the police. We are harassed. We are arrested. It's rough. People who say that in the United States you have the First Amendment right have never gone out to a protest. So we were talking about that in the context of the Second Amendment. And a lot of people in the anti-war movement don't want to have guns in the United States. So we as an organization had many meetings and many discussions, and we decided to put out a statement that we support the Second Amendment.
Great.
Even though we wish that the world were gun-free, but now that we're in the reality, we have a Constitution, and that Constitution says the Second Amendment, you have the right to bear arms. And if we are going to loudly thump our chests and say we believe in the First Amendment, unless we're intellectually hypocritical, we also have to say that we believe in the Second. And we put out that statement, and we lost a number of people. We probably lost maybe 5 or 10% of our people who said, that's not the view I want. And we said, that's fine, then you're a hypocrite. I mean, we have to abide by the Constitution. And if we're going to stand up for our First Amendment rights, we have to support the Second Amendment as well.
And I consider you like a brother because, this is exactly the type of liberal I love, okay? People who are at least, first of all, coherent and not hypocritical. And then we have all the Bill of Rights. I am here to defend every one of that. And, of course, we cannot say pick and choose which we want. That's not the important thing. People, they're not forced. Let's say, I agree. For example, my mother, she would never use a gun. You don't want to give her a gun because it would be an extra gun for the bad guy, okay? I respect that. Every one of us has their moral and ethical decision to do if they're able to, even to defend the life, to take another life. It's a moral, personal thing. Not everybody has to do it. Not everybody is forcing you to do it. It's your choice. Now, the same way, you must respect other people's choices if they want to use force to defend life and to defend freedom. Another important thing also, I hope many liberals out there start to wake up. If all the things that are happening right now under Obama, they were happening under Bush, and we have now a National Defense Authorization Act and all these things of these terrible things, they understand, even the liberals understand, that we're all in danger. All the moment that you disagree or you just say something against the establishment, you are potentially on that list. And guess what? We're all going to be on that list pretty soon. So the point is the guns, for me, they're not to just stop a regular criminal. I mean, a 2x4 would do the job, okay, most of the cases. The point here, the guns for me is to defend freedom and my dignity as a human being. Because the moment that we're going to face the same situation like we are facing right now, for me this is like Nazi Germany in 1934. Okay? Doesn't matter which color, which elephant or donkey, they're doing the same plan. All they need now is a crisis. And they have all the executive orders out there in the book to pretty much declare martial law. Simple as that. Now, every liberal that has brain, I have a lot of friends that they are liberals, real liberals, understand that maybe they need to review a little bit the position of the Second Amendment. Maybe they start to understand it's something that, as a free country, we should have the right to defend our liberties. Because at that point, I'm sorry, if you come in the middle of the night to pick me up and put me in a truck and to disappear, I'm not going to comply. Okay, I don't care if you have how many badges you have on you. I deserve a trial, I deserve a due process, and if I know I've done nothing wrong, I'm not going to comply to go into your gulag. This is pretty much my statement. What do you think about this? Am I too extreme, maybe, Chris?
I say amen, brother.
Oh,
yeah, one of my first experiences, I got arrested for feeding homeless people, and it was kind of a hard thing to intellectually comprehend. I was helping some people out who were hungry, and I got handcuffed and thrown in the back of the squad car, in Florida in August, and they didn't turn the air conditioning on for a few hours, and it was just, and I was with a friend of mine, and we're like, are we really arrested for feeding homeless people? And
oh my gosh.
They took us to the jail, and they threw us in jail. And it's, I have no question that at any drop of the dime that martial law would be declared here. And they are just preparing the people to accept it. And it takes people like you, Luca, to continue to speak up, because not only what we're doing as a nation right now is having a devastating effect on the people around the world, they are gutting the people of the United States as well. And it may take them longer to gut us than it does to gut Pakistan and Yemen, but they'll get to it, because eventually there won't be enough people around the world for them to oppress. They're going to have to continue to push down. The United States is exceptional in the fact that we have more people in prison than any other country in the world. And that's not only by the number, which is over 2 million, that's per capita. We have 5 times the incarceration rate as China, yet I'm constantly told that China is a communist regime that is authoritarian and totalitarian. Then how is it that we have an incarceration rate 5 times higher?
Exactly. And another thing I want to say, I'm all for, I consider myself like some sort of capitalist, libertarian, free spirit, okay? But there is only one way that the government should stay sticking to his business. The jail never supposed to be private, because that's a profit. When I go in business, I do for profit, okay? That's the way I'm staying in business, okay? But when you have a corporation, put them in the business of jailing and keeping people in pretty much in captivity, what do you think they're doing? They want more customers. So now we have corporations in control of most of our jail system. It's called private jails. And I think you agree with me. What they're doing, these bastards, they are manipulating pretty much Congress and the state legislation to pass always more laws, because now they demand more customers. And if they don't provide, the state does not provide enough customers, they can get sued. This is like complete slavery. And then they use these inmates for labor, for free. And the private companies need to compete with this new slavery. It's impossible, guys. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm all for privatization, but no, the government is supposed to stick to a few things. And one thing for sure, the system of the jail system is supposed to be under the control directly of the government, not of some private corporation that pretty much is there just to make a buck. What do you think about this?
Oh, that's so true. And with the privatization of the jails, we've seen an increase in the number of people incarcerated. For one, they have to meet their quota. But for another, one recent study I saw that there was a case in Pennsylvania where the local authorities were arresting children at a disproportionate rate, and it cost them $88,000 a year to have one kid in jail. And if some jail system is making $88,000 a year per inmate to feed them horrible food and terrible living conditions, that profit margin is huge. So it just invites corruption. And the idea that we have a jail system that can make money, capitalism, you better be really careful, because it doesn't mean that there are no limits and it's dog eat dog. And I wouldn't trust the government to control the jail system any better, but making it for profit surely just leads to more potential corruption.
When I say also now, we've been also brainwashed to think the word capitalism is the what we have now. This is cronyism. This is a corporativism. Benito Mussolini pretty much defined fascism when there is the union of the corporation and the government and the state. That's what we have today. Because when we have this huge corporation, I'm not talking about a mom and pop shop, okay? I'm not talking about small business. They're pretty much people that they put out their money, they put their work. If they fail, they fail. If they succeed, I'm happy for them. I'm talking about these big, huge corporations, too big to fail. They pretty much got our tax dollar every time there is something not going right, and they pretty much is now in symbiosis with the government. That's fascism. That's not free market, guys. Now, the jail system is one of the most important things we need to monitor, because now, as you said, even in China, we got so many people in jail. This is supposed to be the land of the free. We are now the land of the free, home of the slaves. And it breaks my heart to say that. It breaks my heart. But the facts are there. Listen, all I wanted to do today, and I'm really glad, I think we accomplished it, we show to the rest of Americans and more important, to the people that they're still trapped into this phony left-right, the dichotomy, this sort of separation. We are people maybe with different background, but we believe in freedom. We believe in justice. We believe that what it's evil, it's evil. I don't care which party you are. And we stick together, and we want to take it back. And then when we will take back this country, hopefully, we can start to get creative and maybe start to find a way, even if we have differences maybe in socioeconomics, we can work out a way, because we got so much of our trillions of dollars that we've been stolen that we could take it back and use it better for our situation here in America. And another way I want to say, I'm tired and sick. Every time somebody tries to identify me in this phony left and right, the first thing they ask me, do you support Israel? First of all, I never heard that Israel was the 51st state of this country. I mean, I am here. I came all the way from Italy to become an American, not to become some sort. Israel, if you want to join the union, let them join. But right now, what we have, guys, I don't support any foreign country who's collecting our tax dollar without my consent. Because if people they consider themselves in the right, okay, they're conservative, and we don't believe in socialism. I'm with you. What is mine, I would like to give as a charity, not as coercion from the government. Fine. But now these phony right people, I call them phony rights, they're hypocritical, like the Obamanoids. Because if you believe that we're supposed not to share our wealth without our consent, what we're doing now, if you want to support Israel, is called open your checkbook and send them a check. Not forcing the rest of us to pay billions of dollars every year to Israel and to other probably 120 countries around the world. We are broke. Let them go to China and beg for money and go in debt. Go to the private Federal Reserve themselves. What do you think about this? This is sickening. I mean, why should we pay for other countries' bills?
No, we shouldn't. And what's funny is that in Latin America, they're starting their own banking system, and in Asia Pacific, behind Russia and I believe China and India, they're starting their own banking system. And eventually our fallback of going to the IMF to bail us out, it may not be there at some point. And I'm with you, Luca. People need to understand this, the sooner the better. And I'm not talking about stocking up your canned foods. Let's call this government out, because this country has a wealth of natural resources. We have such beautiful land, and we have forests and trees and water. By our geographic definition, we're protected on the east, we're protected on the west, we have friendly neighbors to the north and friendly neighbors to the south. We've got everything. We do not need to be afraid all the time. We need to enjoy things. Instead of living in fear, let's try to live and enjoy each other, and let's be a part of the world community instead of trying to dominate it. We don't need to be the world superpower in order for the 310 million people here to have an abundant life. You know, it's tough because people around the world are rightfully starting to really, really hate America. Now, I hear them say, oh, it's the politicians, not the people. The truth is, it is the people. It's the people who they're complicit, they're willfully ignorant, and I am so sickened that in Nazi Germany, that those people, they did not try to, with very few exceptions, the White Rose Society, Sophie Scholl, a few others, they tried to stop Hitler. But the rest of the people in Nazi Germany were virtually silent or going along with it. And those people could have stopped potentially millions from getting killed. And the same is with the United States today. Our people, instead of going about their hurried lives thinking that everything they're doing is so important, need to realize we are reaping the benefits of this empire. Our lives, as rough as it is for many people, it would be even rougher if we didn't go around the world and steal resources and strong-arm governments to get trade agreements and to impose our will on everybody. I would much rather be a citizen of the world and be proud that where I am makes me feel happy.
Chris, I would like to say this, I would like to lead by example, not by force, We need to we want to get people in by us. Let's show that we are really freedom. Really we are free. Really that we have a system that, like our, the foundation of our inalienable rights. Not do this by force. Let's show them that we are really prosperous countries, that we can take care of ourselves because we really understand what means economics and we don't go anymore around the world wasting our trillions of dollars. That's what I'm saying. Let's lead by example, not by force. This is my opinion. But regardless, I would like to leave you guys and leave Chris with this message. I think it's very important for people who believes in the Constitution. if you believe in George Washington, you should read his pretty much his statement, his farewell address. And the phrase that I really like is this one: peace, commerce, and honest friendship with all nations, entangling alliances with none. Thank you very much, Chris. I really appreciate your work, and you are a true liberal, and I respect you for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Luca.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna, but I have 3 more minutes, and I will surprise you with my little serenade to the Obamanoids. Stay tuned. Dedicated to all the Obamanoids. If you love Obama so much, hey, you want to show me that I'm wrong. I say he's a Nazi, you say no, no. Then come on the air and let's get all alone. I will show you facts and proofs. If you support Obama, you're a Nazi too. I'm very sorry to share bad news, but Obama is a racist. If you believe him, you're a fool. And the and more patriotic NSA and more Iraq, illegal wars, Syria, Libya, and Ukraine. You must be insane to believe Obama is a saint. Obama lover, come on the air. Don't be scared, you know I'll be fair. I'm very sorry to share more bad news. Obama loves Monsanto, but does not love you. He rules by edict like Hitler or like a king. If you're still follow him, you're just kissing his Muslim ring. Oh, please wake up, don't be a fool. Obama is a liar, to support Hitler is not cool. Hey, you're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States.FM network. Hi everybody, this is Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom on KTOX 1340 AM and on United States.FM network. Second hour, it's all about guns, training, little news. You know, you remember a few weeks ago, I think maybe almost a couple of months ago, I had a great guy, I really appreciate him so much. He's an activist in the sense that he's active, he's not lazy, and he's trying to exercise his and also our God-given rights about the Second Amendment. It is Dr. Steinmatz from Phoenix area, Arizona. And, he's the gentleman that pretty much he challenged the authorities, between quotes, they call them the authorities, in Phoenix, the airport, but pretty much he wanted to exercise his Second Amendment at the airport in the non-secure area. And he got, arrest and blah, 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 but of course he's a free man now. He never really was in jail, but he stood up and he stood for the rights, and more importantly, showed the point that there was no law that he was infringing. Now, after all that interview, I was so excited because I really like to see people like him try to, sometimes even just alone, to try to make a point, And I gave him a beautiful membership for Front Sight. It's a lifetime membership, and I know that he was there at Front Sight just a few days ago doing a class. I don't know exactly which class, but we'll find out right now. Dr. Steinmatz, are you there?
I am here, Luca. Good hearing from you again.
Okay, I want to just remind a little bit, probably everybody in Arizona that is into the gun rights know about you, but I wanted just to say a little bit what happened with you, and also now you are a Front Sight member, right?
That's right. Yeah, you were kind enough to provide me with a family legacy membership, and that was very nice of you.
Perfect. So I know I want to try almost, maybe I should have mentioned, the first time you went to the wrong day, right? I know that you...
Yes. This was very funny because I was going to go up to Front Sight in March, actually with several of my friends from the Arizona Citizens Defense League, AZCDL. And I somehow got it in my head early on that it was a 2-day class that was going to be over the weekend, and I thought to myself, well, that must be Saturday and Sunday. Mm-hmm. So I drove up there on Friday, and unfortunately, when I arrived the next morning on Saturday, they said, no, wait, for the 2-day class, you have to be here Friday and Saturday.
Wow.
So I had to turn around and drive back down to Phoenix. But it's a beautiful drive that time of year, actually, so I was happy in some ways to see the high desert there.
Let me share a little secret with you. I did that too once, okay? So you're not alone. Unfortunately, one time I was so excited, I was ready through different classes, but say, let me do a 2 days class, and boom, wrong time and wrong day. But anyway, good. And now finally, just last week, you attended a class, was a different type of class. What did you do exactly?
Yeah, I took the 2-day practical shotgun class.
Okay.
To kind of learn how to handle a shotgun, and although I had purchased a shotgun a while back in, probably about this time of year, at the gun show back in 2013, I purchased a shotgun and then my first pistol, because the first firearms I bought, the first firearm I purchased was an AR-15 back in February of 2013.
Okay.
After the Newtown, murders, and then the threat that they were going to try to bring back the, quote, assault weapons, unquote, ban. So I got so mad about that I said, well, I'm just going to go buy an AR-15. Like a lot of people did, actually.
Let's remind Dr. Steinmatz, I like to call you doctor, okay?
That's fine, thanks. Okay.
Let's remind, because, sometimes people think, not everybody, of course, but there is this general feelings, or many people that would not really understand, or maybe do not like Second Amendment rights. They think every gun owner must be some sort of a freak coming from the mountain, maybe with an accent like mine, maybe with very low-level education, and probably people that, they cut their bread with their AK-47 bayonet or things like that. You're a very educated person. You're a professor, or a doctor, right? What exactly your type of expertise and your degree?
Yeah. I actually did my, an MD and a PhD at Johns Hopkins University in the medical school there in Baltimore. And basically I went back to graduate school because I was very interested in how the brain works and neuroscience. And, my research specialty nowadays is what I call research neurology. Okay. So I don't really treat neurological patients, but I do a lot of research with them. Nowadays I'm focusing pretty exclusively through a new institute I have called the Nakamoto Brain Research Institute. We're analyzing the data that we had collected over the last eight years, basically where we were able to do recordings of single neuron activity in epilepsy patients.
Wow.
And so now I'm focusing almost exclusively on analyzing this. I have like 2 terabytes of virtually unanalyzed data, so I have to get busy and analyze it and publish it.
Very good. So this is just to prove my point. This is also the purpose of the show, to show that, we believe in freedom, and we believe in love, and we believe in guns. And if people believe in guns, this is nothing so evil, and there is not a typical stereotype that if you believe in guns, you must fit the type of profile that they try to paint us. We are regular human beings, and sometimes we're even a little bit more than the regular. So that's my point.
I think that, the stereotype that the media attempts to portray is really actually belied by the real statistics, Luca. I mean, the average gun owner is actually better educated and wealthier than the average citizen.
Probably you're right. You're the other guy, better than me. But listen, the point is this one. We're here, and we are not ashamed, and we're not afraid to exercise our rights. Now, talking about, when we have rights and we have freedom comes responsibility. So I think it's so important that try to find, I'm not here trying to push front sight. I brought to this show every type of schools. I got gun sight. I got Chuck Taylor. I got front sight, of course. I got private instructors from Mojave County. I want everybody to find their way according to their possibilities, according to their finances, and also to their commitment to do the best they can, to become the best they can. That means not just the most proficient, but also the safest and the most educated gun owners out there. So that's why at this point, I was happy to go to front side. That's my opportunity, what I could afford at the time. Now, tell me a little bit about this class, this 2-day shotgun class. I attended the 4 days. It was very much a blast, especially the last day. But let's see what you did the first couple of days.
Yeah, well, so the first day we spent a lot of time kind of on basics of handling the shotgun, how to sling it, how to unsling it, sort of the fundamentals is what we covered in the morning to, of course, make sure that, first of all, we know how to do that sort of thing at home. So somebody like me, for example, I bought my shotgun, as I said, back in May of 2013. I'd taken out in the desert and shot it a couple times, but I had never really had any specific instruction on how to use such a weapon. So it's very helpful for me to learn kind of, all the best ways of carrying and just how to manipulate the weapon in a safe and secure way. Mm-hmm. So that we spent the first part of the day doing that, and the second part of the day we started moving on to, doing some basic firing drills, and basically how we would, just handle the weapon and handle the recoil, kind of the basics of a shotgun, which can have a significant recoil, as you know.
Yes, let's say the typical stance. I'm not talking about the target shooting stance, the most combat defensive stance, handling a long weapon,
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And, the 3 different positions, where you go prone and then also firing, from kneeling and then also finally standing.
Okay. What is your shotgun that you have? What did you buy?
Well, so actually this was an interesting point. So, when I bought this shotgun, I originally was just buying it as a home defense weapon, right? And this was back very early on when I was just getting started learning about firearms. And I had always heard, a shotgun is a very good home defense weapon. And so I bought one of these, it's actually kind of a peculiar configuration, I guess. It's a Mossberg 500, but with the chainsaw grip and the trigger handle only. And I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
But yeah, so it's really sort of designed for shooting from the hip, really more than
Gotcha.
Because it doesn't have a stock that lets you put it up to your shoulder.
It's called a Defender. I see now what you're talking about. Kind of second choice, in my opinion, but kind of hard on your wrist, and it's fun to have. But
yeah, exactly. So I looked up the requirements for the class. And Front Sight is good in that they lay out the requirements for each class and so on very clearly, actually, on their website, and they're sending you emails about what you need to know. And so I gathered from that this was not going to work, that they really didn't want a trigger grip only shotgun. So I actually went out and you can take it apart, of course, and so I put a buttstock on there, and then I actually took the chainsaw grip off, so I would just have the handle on the pump.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you have a real shotgun with a stock, pretty much.
That's what I kind of converted it over to for the purpose of this class.
Yeah, and also it's always very good to have a stock. You have more stability, and of course, especially if you're going to start to work with real heavy loads, or even just regular defense loads, like the 00 back shots. That would really be hard on your wrist, and you don't have the type of accuracy more than 5 yards you need to go. But so
right.
So did you go? The second day was pretty much more on stance. You started to shoot some rounds, I'm sure.
Yeah. So second day, right? We also did a lot of work on clearing malfunctions, the different kinds of malfunctions that can occur. How to feed more rounds in after you've used up the supply that's in the firearm in your magazine. And then we actually had a lot of fun with, shooting different rounds. So they had us do a series of exercises at different distances where we sort of learned for our gun what the spread tended to be at different distances.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that was really useful to know, like in my gun with a double-aught buckshot, which is what I would use if I was going to use it for home defense, you know, how much does it spread if I'm shooting at a distance that might be across my home. So that was really good. And then we shot some slugs. Oh, those are crazy.
Yeah.
So you're shooting those rifled slugs.
Yes, and there is a test, by the way. You could not, unfortunately, because you finished the second day. If you go to the fourth day, you will see the whole curriculum. You're going to perform different type of tasks, and one of that is to perform slugs at 50 yards on time constraint, you know. So it's very good because you can also do the selection of your round. What I like about this shotgun, you have pretty much a big diversification of, you can, in 1 second, split second, you can change from bird shots to slugs or to back shots, you know.
Yes.
And so you can do a selection of your round, depends on the situation. And talking about the spreading, you know, I did that. I was very impressed the first time I attended a shotgun class. You know, I had no idea exactly my shotgun, what type of spreading I have, according to the different distances. But another thing I learned depends also much on the type of ammunitions. Because every round, every brand has a different type of spreading, you know. I mean,
yes.
You know, you get some generic stuff like the Wolf I used to do for the starter. It's pretty much, you know, average. You can get better stuff with more control of your spreading when you get a little bit more specific type of brands or ammunition, you know. So it's very important. So you feel a little more confident now, even just with today's class?
Yeah, the 2-day class I think gives you a good, you know, grounding in the basics. I'm sure that if you take the 4-day class, it's, you know, even more thorough, obviously, and you're going to be a lot more comfortable. But right now, I feel like, you know, I know how to handle the weapon. You know, I would know how to switch, say, from a buckshot to a slug if I had to. You know, these are the kind of basic. So it's good for the basic skills. I'm sure that, you know, the lengthier training, as I say, would increase your confidence even further. The thing about, you know, my original decision to buy the shotgun, you know, I was thinking, well, that would be a home defense weapon. But then, of course, what's happened is that, you know, I also, the same day I was there buying the shotgun, I also picked up a 1911 pistol. And I really fell in love with that and, you know, the single action trigger and the pistol. And so, you know, I train pretty much every week now. I go and fire some rounds out of my 1911. So, you know, for home defense, it kind of raises this question that you're probably really best off depending on the weapon you know the best.
Yes.
And so in my case, you know, I think I've kind of come to the point where, you know, I have, you know, my 1911 here in the house. My shotgun nowadays is stored in a gun safe that's, you know, not as readily accessible as my 1911. But, you know, it seems to me the important thing, and when I understand this, what the experts say, you know, the important thing is that you use the weapon that you're really the most familiar with that can get the job done. Exactly.
This is a proverb, I guess. I call it a proverb, maybe just a way to say, be careful of the one-gun man, okay? Sometimes, you know, we like to have so many guns. At least myself, I like several guns. Let's put it this way. You know, that's what I like. I don't buy new cars. I buy new guns.
Right.
Even used. But the point at the end of the day, I train with one gun. And when the time, if I have to carry one gun, and so this is my main rifle, and so my main shotgun. And I train with those. Then for entertainment purposes, I like to practice to be familiar a little bit with everything. But my main training, it is with that specific gun that I like to carry. And so with my shotgun. Because at the end of the day, you know, you're going to start to ingrain repetitions. And let's say, for example, you have a Mossberg, okay? I love the Mossberg, by the way. It's my favorite shotgun. I have a 590 A1 SP. It's the military-grade version of the shotgun of the Mossberg, okay?
Yeah.
Same principle, though. It's the same type of safety, like you have it. Maybe the A1 is made of aluminum and the other one is made of plastic, but it's the same straightforward safety. Then if I had to switch from a Mossberg to, for example, a Remington A70, that, don't get me wrong, it's a great shotgun too, it is just something that you have a different type of safety there. It is not the same position of the Mossberg. So under stress, you've been training many, many times with your Mossberg, and you transition to another shotgun, you must be very careful what you're doing, you know. Like, for example, you train with your 1911, and out of the blue you go from 1911 to maybe a Beretta or a different type of gun, you know. So it's good to stick with whatever you have, and you're familiar and comfortable. So, and
I think especially in a self-defense situation, you know, where your life or the life of your family is going to depend on it, you want to have available what you are just able to do at the at the most basic instinctual level.
Exactly. And another thing about the shotgun, I tell you, I attended the classes, the 4 days, and also different classes with rifles, handgun. I found the shotgun, as much as they say it's a little easier, it is not. It is mostly, probably more training is needed, especially if you have a pump action, if you want to cycle it right, with a very, I'm not talking about you shoot when you feel like it. I'm talking about keeping the times and be on target. It takes practice. So one thing I did after I did my class, I came back home and I got my shotgun and I bought some snap caps, fake rounds, and I started to practice all the things I learned immediately. So I didn't want to forget them. And then I started to incorporate in my weekly, whenever I go to the range, to bring my shotgun, do some dry practice, and bring some burst shots. You don't need to, blast double O when you go for practice. Even just simple, economical burst shots, they're a good way to practice what you learn before you forget it. Because I realized the first class I did, I spent too long before I started to practice. I was almost forgetting my basics I was learning. So this is my little 2 cents feedback. If you can, practice what you learn before it gets kind of out of mind. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, and I think I'm going to go back in the fall now. So, since you were kind enough to provide this membership, I'm probably going to go back in the fall and take a 4-day pistol up there, I think.
Yeah, I would suggest you that, because don't get me wrong, I like to do all classes, but if I had to start, and I started with my first class was a 4 days handgun. The reason why is normally, that in daily life, every one of us can carry a gun, handgun, everywhere or almost everywhere. Shotgun, a little bigger, especially if you go to work with a shotgun behind your couch or something like that. Even at your hospital, wherever you work at your research study, they're going to look at you like kind of, oh my gosh, again. But a handgun, you can conceal it and you can carry with you everywhere. And I tell you, I think they do a good curriculum, a great curriculum on every weapon they teach. But handgun, I really believe there's something even more fast response. I mean, you do the 4 days handgun class, and if you never attended a class before, there is so much good information, so much good. The average gun owner is put in this way that I meet at the range, they don't even get close to a fraction of the knowledge that you can acquire from a 4 days front side handgun class. I'm writing a book, by the way. It's an e-book. It's almost ready. It's called Defensive Handgun, and it's pretty much, it's a very simple book. It's about all the curriculum plus my opinions of the front side curriculum. And the reason why it's going to be very affordable, the price of a coffee, not a Starbucks, of course, but the price of a coffee, about a couple dollars, downloadable, and there is probably about almost 200 pages with photos, and I go through everything you learn at front sight in the 4 days handgun class. And the reason why is, I know not everybody can afford even to drive or to fly to front sight, okay? And I wanted just to share whatever I learned, because I'm not a teacher. I'm just a regular guy that likes to learn. I'm a professional student, I call myself. I distinguish every time I go to front side, but it doesn't matter. I'm still myself. I don't teach for a living, but I can share what I know. And so I did this book, and people are curious. You can see some chapters already on my website. It's called handguntraining.tv, like television. So you can see there my little blogs. That is all pretty much the story there. So listen,
I'm gonna have to check that out. Hey, are they gonna sell this book up at front site?
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna talk to the guy if he wants to, of course. But as I said, I'm not endorsing front site. I'm not trying to. It's gonna be digital at the beginning. I'm gonna put it just for digital download on Amazon and different outlets. Normally, because normally I write music. I'm not really into writing. But I started a new journey as a writer, and so it's going to be interesting because I have a lot of things that I've been learning. I just try to share what I learned. So it's going to be ebook about $1.99, and meanwhile people can go there and get free chapters on handguntraining.tv, and if they join my newsletter, they can also be updated as I have new chapters going on, and more important, as the book is being released. But I'll send you a copy, okay?
No, that'd be fantastic.
So listen, anything else you want to say about anything?
Well, we continue, what might be of interest to some of your listeners is we're actually continuing a number of follow-ons to my demonstration last July. And, so one of them is basically that we're petitioning right now for my record to be cleared. Because I was actually arrested, as you know.
Yes.
And basically, you know, a groundless arrest, really. So what we can do is we can petition for my record to be cleared, and then basically, you know, it's marked that there was really no reason for this arrest, which I think is an important step in terms of Second Amendment rights. And the other thing that we're doing is I actually did end up spending some time in jail, Luca. You know, I wasn't in prison or anything, but
how long?
But I should have been bailed. So I should have been bailed out right away, because as soon as I was arrested, I told my wife, look, you know, I've been arrested. There's going to be a hearing. I want you to take some cash to cover the bail, and you know, probably what it'll be, and come down. And right after the hearing, just go to the office, you know, the counter, and give them the cash, and I'll be out.
Yeah.
Which is how it's supposed to be. Well, so it turns out that Sheriff Joe Arpaio does not take cash for bail in Maricopa County.
Wow.
And not only does it say on the bills, you know, legal tender for all debts, public and private.
Yeah.
But there's actually an Arizona statute which explicitly says that a sheriff must take cash for bail 24 hours a day, every day, including holidays.
Wow. Yeah, no.
Yet we find that on Joe Arpaio's website, he says in bold print, we don't take U.S. currency. Now, I mean, it's just a blatant...
What do you want, silver coins? What does he want?
Yeah. I mean, a blatant violation of the law, as well as the principle that, you know, if your bail is set by the judge, that's what your bail is, okay?
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be paid in Joe Arpaio bobbleheads.
My gosh.
So anyway, so we've got a case now that's probably going to get started about this. Basically because Joe Arpaio refuses to change the policy and comply with the law.
This is really wrong. I mean, I'm glad I didn't know about that. This is so wrong. And by the way, listeners, you know, let me tell you something. This is so important because we already went through a few weeks ago when we had you on the show for the first time. I had you on the show the first time. If the point is, if today there is no law that you're breaking, and you can be pretty much put in jail. And on top, when you try to bail yourself out, they even break a second law that they break the law. I mean, the government is breaking the law that do not accept the currency that they're supposed to accept. Yes. This is the complete definition of tyranny. I don't know what else I can say. If somebody can put you in jail according to no laws being broken, that's as bad as it gets. You may say, you know what, I don't care about the Second Amendment, that's fine. You don't like about my gun, that's fine. But the bottom line is, this is not about the guns, this is not about the Second Amendment, this is about if we're still living in a country that we're pretty much based on respecting the law for everybody, or we are just pure anarchy, or even worse than anarchy, complete tyranny. Because sometimes anarchy, I think, is better. At least nobody has to pretty much follow anything, and let the best man win, okay? So this is complete tyranny, guys. And I didn't know about this Arpaio story. This is this is super ridiculous. This guy, he needs to be told, I think, by a judge that cannot do this.
Yes, and that's what the lawsuit will be about, basically, is trying to force him to change the policy. And actually, my attorneys told him, and my position is, look, you know, I don't need the money. I mean, that's not why I'm suing him, right? I mean, I'm suing him because the sheriff should obey the law.
Exactly. And on top, you know what? Unfortunately, these people, the only thing I understand is when they pay. And unfortunately, they'll even pay out of their pocket. Always pretty much the taxpayers have to pay their arrogance for their arrogance or their mistakes. But still, you know, no, they need to pay something because I'm telling you, how many days did you spend in jail? Because
I was just there overnight. I mean, it just delayed me until the next morning because they told my wife, well, you have to go get this kind of money order.
Yeah.
So, you know, she had, you know, we have a child at home here, and she had to come home and take care of the kids, and actually we had some visitors too. Yeah. So she had to take care of that. Yeah. But the next morning she was able to go get the money orders and get me out. So it was just one night. But still, it's not right.
You know what? And on top, you know exactly what you are a regular customer to the county jail. Okay.
So it's not. I met some very interesting regular customers.
Yeah. But the point is, you know, for people that they are law-abiding people, they've never been in jail. I don't care if it's an hour overnight. This is not the right place to be. Especially when I didn't break any law at the beginning, for sure. So my point is, when you were in jail, you were by yourself in the cell, or you were somehow crowded?
Oh, no. They, you know, it's a long process when you're booked in there at Joe Arpaio's jail. They take they process you in all sorts of different ways. I mean, there's the medical, and then they take a whole bunch of photos of you. So, you know, I didn't realize which one was actually going to be my mugshot, which I suppose is why I'm not looking my best in that photo. But so they process you through all that, and then you're in some holding cells. You go to your hearing, Then after your hearing, you come back to some holding cells, and then it took many hours. So my hearing was, I think, at 8:30. We were in holding cells for another 3 or 4 hours. Finally, we were changed out into the pink underwear and the stripes, one size fits all, jail stripes there. And finally, I think, got up to a cell where there was actually a bed where you could lie down at 2 a.m.
Oh my gosh. And we are all innocent until proven guilty. My wife, I call this almost a torture, okay? Seriously. I mean, what the heck?
Well, it was pretty bad, and in fact, but they're proud of that there. So one of the other inmates there complained to one of the guards, this is awful. I mean, for a jail, I mean, and I mean, there's, for example, there's uncleaned up vomitus on the floor from people who are going through drug withdrawal, who are throwing up all over the place. They don't bother to clean these things up. 3/4 of the phones in the cells that you're supposed to be able to use are broken. They don't provide you with anything by which you can write down a phone number. It is really pretty bad. I mean, there's no pillows in the cells, right? I mean, so they're treating people in a pretty bad way. And of course, Joe Arpaio has actually been in trouble with the law in a number of lawsuits over the conditions of his jails because of this. And one of the inmates complained to one of the guards, well, this is just really awful. I can't believe you run the jail like this. And the guards are like, oh, good. We're glad you hate it here. We don't want to see you back.
My point is exactly this way. For the people that say, yes, you deserve it, we're still talking about people
who are presumed innocent.
Exactly. They didn't even have their day in front of a judge. Tomorrow could be your son, could be your daughter, could be yourself by mistake. This is not like people that have been convicted and they are real criminal according to the rule of law and the due process. No. These are people that are just there waiting for their day in court. How can you treat somebody in such subhumane conditions? Seriously. And that's why sometimes, I go crazy because people think they're so perfect, they're never going to make a mistake, or maybe you don't need to do a mistake. They do the mistakes, like they did with you. And I stand by these words 100%, because the point is you did not break any law. That's why you were released at the end of the day. You were carrying your rifle in the secure, safe area.
I wasn't even charged.
No, exactly.
Right.
So that's my point. But at the same time, look, you have to defend yourself. You have to go through this nightmare. And yes, you know what? Sue the bastard 100%, whatever money you can get. And then, you know what? Buy another rifle if you want. Or maybe invite us all for dinner out, okay? I'm with you on that.
I think that would be a good use of the funds if we win. Yes, definitely. I mean, the main thing, though, I wanted, and my lawyers told Joe Arpaio this, look, Dr. Steinmatz they told him, Dr. Steinmatz will settle for two things, okay? You change your policy, okay, to comply with the law. Yeah. And you issue him a public apology.
Exactly. I mean, as much as
that would have been fine with me, but he won't take that.
That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. And I've been fair on some other issues. I've been supporting in the past for a moment, Sheriff Arpaio. But lately, I really see this man. Unfortunately, he's getting full of himself, and he cannot be above the law. He's supposed to be enforce the laws, but he cannot be above the law, and that's what he's becoming. In my humble opinion, that's the bottom line.
Unfortunately, I have to agree with you. I mean, I think he has definitely done some good things in the past, but I think it's time for him to retire now.
Yeah, and top, seriously, after all these years, take care of your wife, enjoy life, okay? Leave us alone for a moment, okay?
Exactly.
I mean, anyway, listen, Dr. Steinmatz, you're one of my Arizona heroes when it comes down to the Second Amendment. I really commend your courage, your example, and even sometimes your craziness a little bit, because you're kind of a crazy man going around alone at the Phoenix airport with your AR-15 surrounded by all these evil people who were trying to set you up. But was a good madness. You did it for a good goal, and I'm glad everything went fine. So we got to get together to Frontside, God's willing. Next time I'll try to be there too. Maybe we can do the 4 days class.
Let's do that. That'd be fantastic.
I'm just been trying to go through some personal issues right now with family and things, but hopefully by fall I should be able to have my book ready maybe in the next month. And meanwhile, hopefully we can go there and refresh myself, my little 4 days class at Frontside, okay?
Sounds great.
Thank you. Okay, guys, don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. This is the second hour, everything about guns. And speaking about the book, I'm going to share with you today the 3 secrets that are not really secrets anymore, because I'm going to tell you in a few minutes on how to shoot straight with your handgun. Don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman.
I'm not afraid.
And a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth.
I'm not afraid.
A American by choice. Luca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Luca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Okay, we are back. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna, and it was an interesting interview. I really like Dr. Steinmatz. It's a great guy. It's something that normally you do not expect from a gun owner like that. Going out to the exercising your Second Amendment open carry right in the state of Arizona with your AR-15 at the airport of Phoenix, of course, the no secure area. He's a professor, he's a doctor. I mean, he's a guy that has a big brain, at the same time, he has, my opinion, a lot of guts to exercise his basic human rights. Now, back to the show. This is about guns. I would like to talk a little bit about news. Before we go ahead, I don't want to beg, because this is not about begging, it's about asking, differently from many other public type of entities like NPR, PBS, or whatever, and the government itself. They don't ask. They just steal from you without your consent. They want your tax dollar, they will get it one way or another one. Here, this show, this station, and also these stations, because this show does not just on KTOX, but also goes on different web radio stations out there. It is pretty much an act of love, Nobody asks you for money. It means we ask you, but nobody steal your money. So just pretty much it's, we're here, I'm here because of you. And the most important person really I have, it's the listeners. I appreciate sponsors, of course, but my point is to always bring you the truth, to bring you the facts that I know that I think they're right. You may not agree with me, that's fine, but I don't sell out. That's the bottom line. Even if I'm wrong, maybe I'm just wrong, but I don't go out there knowing something is wrong and trying to sell it that is right. So I apologize when I'm wrong, but in my heart, I always try to bring you the facts. Now, to support the show is very simple. You don't need to be rich, you don't need to be wealthy, you don't need to be any type of genius, you're just a regular guy. All you need is 99 cents. Go to my website, at least one of my websites, www.zanna.us, okay? Not .com, but US. Zanna.us. You can download any of my songs. I write songs for a living, at least one of the things I do. And there are different type of songs. Some they're patriotic, some they're a little bit of romantic. There is a little bit for everybody, okay? 99 cents. You pay me a cheap coffee, and you help the show to keep going. Now, let's go a little bit about the news, first of all. Everybody heard, I'm sure, what happened with the situation in Texas. That everybody knows that sort of a contest, freedom of speech contest, regarding, the drawing of the Prophet Muhammad, or whatever it's called, and of course somebody, at this point, two individuals, they're not just somebody, two scumbags, let's call it the name they are, they try to pretty much go there, break the meeting, and kill everybody. They were ready to go, okay? So this is what happened in Garland, Texas last week. Now, normally I don't like to insult anybody's religion. I'm not here to insult, but I'm here to defend freedom of speech, really seriously. Especially when somebody, the point was of this event, to see that we have still freedom of speech in America. This is not Denmark, this is not England, this is not Italy that you can get sued just because you offend somebody with your speech. We have a First Amendment, for God's sake, okay? And we better use it or we lose it. Now, even I don't care about Muslim, Allah, or whatever. The point is I care that we have the right, the freedom of speech right. And I'm not afraid to stand with this woman. I completely respect the woman that organized this meeting, but also respect a lot the person who stopped these two scumbags that they were pretty much ready to go and kill everybody. These two scumbags, they were called Nadir Soafi and Elton Simpson, okay? Guess what? There was a Garland ISD security officer was there and was shot in the ankle. But meanwhile, the bottom line, there was one Texas police officer was there exactly in front of the gate of this event, and he was able, with his .45 duty pistol, I think it was a Glock probably, to stop both those fascists. They were armed, one supposedly with an AK-47 style rifle, talking about semi-automatic rifle, and the other person I think probably was maybe a Celtic 9mm carabine. Anyway, regardless, one man with a gun not only defended our First Amendment, but also saved the day. Think about if this event was maybe in France, when the police pretty much they're not even allowed to have a gun unless you're in some sort of a special SWAT team, okay? Or in England, they go around with a stick. Guess what? This is Texas. This is still America. Now, you may believe or not that probably, offending a religion is good or right. That's not the point. The point is nobody has the right to use violence to try to shut up somebody else just because he's exercising or she's exercising or they're exercising their First Amendment. That's the bottom line. We should all cherish this First Amendment, regardless our position. So, my prayer, first of all, and the congratulations to the police officer who fulfilled his duty to defend the people's rights. Okay, so great job, police officer in Garland, Texas. Okay, and also I really appreciate the woman behind this event. Okay, so that's pretty much the story. A little bit about news. You see, one man with a gun can stop two bad, evil people with also a carabine or a rifle. Okay, but you must train. Now, talking about training. Okay, very important. The little secrets that I was talking before, they're not the little, they are the 3 secrets on how to shoot straight with your pistol. And by the way, they also call the 3 secrets on marksmanship. And now after I tell you, you will see they're not really secrets. Okay? That's what I want to share with you. No matter what type of gun you shoot, or many, tactical moves you can learn or you think you already know, if you do not master these 3 basic secrets or how to shoot straight, you will not be able to hit the target. And that's pretty much what matters at the end of the day. Everything comes down to that. Now, let me explain to you. Very simple. Maybe many of you already know this. That's fine. I'm trying to reach out people that maybe they don't know everything. Okay? First of all, you need to organize your gun. Okay? You need to have your gun. No matter which gun, you must have the first secret of how to shoot straight is called sight alignment. What is the sight alignment? It is the relationship between your firing sight eye, I mean the eye that you shoot your firing sight, and the front and the rear sight. So you have the front sight, rear sight, and your firing side eye. We need to put them all in relationship. We need to put it all line up. To obtain the right sight alignment, you must keep the front sight even and centered with the top of the rear sight. Okay? Center what means? That means that there must be equal spacing between the left and the right of the rear sight. Must be also flushed. Okay? So you must align the front sight with the rear sight, with your eye, with your firing side eye. Now, meanwhile you're maintaining this perfect sight alignment, you want to focus on one point only. Because remember, you have now 3 points you could focus. Could be the target, could be the front sight, could be the rear sight. But your eyes cannot do that. They can focus only to one point. You want to focus on the front sight. That means that the rear sight and the target are going a little bit off focus, okay? This is impossible to do. It is impossible that you focus on the 3 points. So, focus on 1 point. Now, let's say you are really close distance, let's say very colloquial distance, like 3 yards. There is no really need to focus on the front sight. Pretty much just pointing the gun at 3 yards. It's going to be very hard to miss, okay? But everything over 3 yards, my humble opinion, you need to start to have even a very flash sight picture. You must still have a little bit of focus on the front sight. Everything above or beyond 7 yards, you need to really start to focus on this sight alignment. It's very important, okay? So, remember, we're not here to become Olympionic target shooters. We're here to learn how to shoot in a defensive situation, that we need to shoot faster and accurate enough to hit exactly what we want, okay? So, sight alignment, first thing. Number 2, sight picture, okay? So, pretty much the sight picture, you want to have this front sight and the rear sight exactly where you want to hit the target. So, it is very important that you move all this group, the front side and the rear side, exactly on the point of the body of the target that you want to hit. Okay? As I said before, in distances under 5 yards, all you need is really just a flash sight picture, it's called. So it means pretty fast. You don't need to be there taking too much time, okay? You just focus on the front side, even just for a split second, and you will gonna be able to hit it. Everything over 7 yards, you must be able to focus more on all the side alignment. Now, trigger control, okay? This is important, okay? Trigger control depends which gun you have. You may have, of course, a revolver, or you may have, let's say, 1911 single action, or you may have maybe a Glock, or this type of guns. Now, the most important thing you want to know that you want to be able to manipulate the trigger with your finger, your firing finger, in a way that you do not move, you do not degrade your sight alignment, okay? Of course, if you have like a revolver, probably you need a little more of your finger to go inside on the trigger. If you have like a more sensitive gun, like a 1911, all you need is just the tip of your finger. So that's very important. Now, what is this so important? It's called a surprise break. Yes, you're breaking that type of trigger. Surprise break, that means that you start to squeeze the trigger, okay? You squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. Let me just do it, because I'm doing it right now, okay? First of all, let me get my gun here. Chamber check, mag check, clear it, check again, away from ammo. Okay, now I'm doing the surprise break. Let's see. I'm using a Glock right now, Glock 17. Always pointing the handgun in a safe direction. I don't care, there is no ammo inside the gun. So, right now, I start to squeeze this trigger. Break, yeah. Slowly, 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 slowly. Click. What happened? I squeeze until I did not expect when this trigger was going to be pretty much completely going through. Okay? It's called a surprise break. So when I have the surprise break, I won't have the tendency to pretty much milk this trigger in a way that I will squeeze or will pull the front side down. Because what happens if I am pretty much afraid or anticipating the recoil or just a bang, okay? What happens? I will almost squeeze it like and goes down. You will see, especially if you do dry practice or if you alternate shooting live ammunition with snap caps, you will see what is the problem at the beginning. You may have the tendency to almost pull the front sight down, okay? It's normal. So, the surprise break. Squeeze, 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 break. And what you want to accomplish that the front sight does not move at all. So, pretty simple. You have sight picture, trigger control, and of course the sight picture, trigger control, and we have also, my brain is burning today, the sight alignment, okay? Now, another important thing I would like to remember that is part of the trigger control, it's called pretty much the reset, Normally, I don't care which gun, but I see many times people that they're just shooting for the first time or they don't have basic education into shooting. They squeeze the trigger. Then, after they accomplish the first, shooting the first round, they remove the trigger, the finger of the trigger. They put it out. And then they put it back in. What is this wrong? Think about it. First of all, you're wasting time. When you squeeze the trigger for the first round, listen. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Bang, okay? You keep the trigger pulled back all the way. It's called the follow through. You want to be sure that you don't move the front sight. You still stay there on target. Now, there are two options. Let's say you finish with shooting. At that point, you can make the conscious decision to remove the finger off the trigger, and at that point you go on the ready position or whatever you want to do with your gun. But if you're still on target, if you still need to keep shooting, you want to remove the finger off the trigger. So you will keep the finger, keep pulling the trigger. What happens now? The first round gets out. Now you will see the slide pretty much you will see chambering another round. You still have the finger pulling back the trigger, and you start to do the reset. That means you let, especially for the Glock, you let go slowly, the finger, until halfway you will see that the trigger does a click like this, as I just shown you. At that point, you are pretty much ready to engage again, to shoot another round. The difference is you didn't have to remove your finger off the trigger and wasting precious time to bring it back in, the trigger guard on the trigger. And also more important, you have now a much more sensitive trigger because you're already halfway. So you're ready for another round. Boom. Now, one more time. The round, pretty much get new round in the chamber. I'm keeping my finger pulling the trigger all the way back, slowly, till I reach the reset here. This click means that I'm halfway. One more time. Boom. So anyway, I hope I was clear enough. As I told you, guys, I'm not an instructor. I'm just a professional student that I like to share what I know. But if you want to know more details with photos, exactly how this works, you can go to handguntraining.tv.
Well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Our fathers gave us freedom and the right to defend it. Politicians, United Nations, it won't change the Constitution of our nation. We are free people, and for freedom we'll fight. We'll never give up our right. The Second Amendment, the Second Amendment, the right to be free, the right to defend yourself. The Second Amendment, the Second Amendment, the right to be free, the right to defend yourself. Defenseless doesn't help the sheep. Why should it help a human from thugs and creeps? And people disarmed, only free to cry. Remember the knife said, how many innocents died? The Second Amendment, the Second Amendment, the right to be free, the right to defend yourself. The Second Amendment, the Second Amendment, the right to be free, the right to defend yourself. Oppressive state first politely will ban your right, then with violence they'll keep you quiet. The Second Amendment, the Second Amendment, the right to be free,
Yes, that was the Second Amendment, music and lyrics by myself, Luca Zanna, and if you want, you can download it for just 99 cents, okay? Go to zanna.us, or just even to lovegunsfreedom.com, go to my music section, you can find it. Now, also go to handguntraining.tv, as I was trying to share before with you, basic tips on how to improve your marksmanship and also your training with new ideas for training for handgun, okay? Now, very important. I would like to talk about a couple of things before we are pretty much going for our number 3. First of all, something that I heard, and I would like to connect this for the gun rights, okay? Mojave County supervisors, now they're trying to vote again, Mojave County, Arizona, if they had to remove this cable, that is not really cable, it's some sort of a broadcasting system paid by our tax dollar. That means we pay automatically as we own properties here in Mojave County, to pretty much give free access to television in Mojave County for rural areas. You know, as much as I'm sympathetic for people that may have no income to pay for their cable or whatever they need to have TV, you know, I don't have TV. I do not own TV. I mean, I have TV, but I have just DVD players, okay? I disconnected myself from cables. It's a bunch of lies anyway, but regardless, I don't think it's the government business to provide as a service, as a right, because it becomes almost down to a right, free cable or free television. Okay? That's not the government business. I never found that anywhere into the Bill of Rights. So I wrote this sort of a little basic concept, a letter that I wrote to the Mojave County supervisors, where I said, if the Mojave County supervisors will continue to provide free, that means tax dollar funded entertainment cable, I demand to receive from the county free ammunition supply for my monthly entertainment. Since I do not watch TV, shooting is my type of entertainment, and it's also very useful to defend my property from wild animals and criminals. Therefore, it must be definitely as important as the free TV cable, or whatever it's called. As a preference, I would like to have at least 50 rounds of 7.62 by 51 NATO, or even 308, for my main rifle. For the month, they equal to the average monthly fee of cable service. Entertainment provided by the government, if that is a right, I did not find it in the Bill of Rights, but I'm sure it must be somewhere in the Marxist Manifesto. Equal rights for everybody? Yes, right. For gun owners too. So, pretty much, this is my little message to the Mojave County supervisors, that really they want to keep giving free, that nothing's free, but tax-funded services like television with our tax dollar. Guess what? You do that, we're going to open pretty much the Pandora's vase. I want also my free entertainment too. Okay? Now, before we go ahead, a couple of extra little things I want to talk to you guys. First of all, always to find the best places where you can buy ammo and guns. There is a place that I've been shopping in the past. It's called Sportsman's Guide, okay? And I tell you guys, I don't get paid by these people. This is not my sponsor. I do this as an act of love. That's why I want, if you can support the show, when you understand what I'm trying to do here, try to give you the experience that I learned the last few years to get you the best way, the best prices, and the best opportunities. If you believe in buying guns and ammunition, this is the best place, okay? One of the best places. Sportsmansguide.com, okay? Not only they used to have very great deals on ammunition, and now they're okay. But I tell you, last week I told you sgammo.com is so far, in my opinion, the best place for ammo. But what I like about Sportsman Guide, now you can also buy rifles, handguns, okay? And of course, they must be shipped to your dealer, okay? And they have incredible prices, okay? I tell you, they really have competitive prices with weapons. But what I like the most, they also give you an opportunity if you become a member, like normally I used to be, now I need to renew my card, for $29, I guess, a year, something like that. You have a 5% discount on already great prices, and then you can make, for example, let's say you buy a rifle. I have one that I really want to get. It's the M1A Scout, okay? M1A Scout. No, excuse me, Scout. The Socom. This is the one that I wanted. From Springfield Armory. Beautiful. Okay, 16, it's called Springfield Armory M1A Socom 16. Semi-automatic in 7.62 by 51. Normally 16 $100, you gotta put a buyer's club for $1,500 on top. If you're a member, you can get it with 4 payments, no interest. That means they ship you the rifle to your FFL dealer, and you have to pay only in 4 installments. So instead of pay all together, you pay in 4 different monthly on your credit card. That's amazing. No interest. So something to consider. I like that. And don't forget, it's time to look for also ammo, and always look for great opportunities. So listen to Love, Guns, and Freedom with me, and I will share with you everything I can. Now, another great place that I already mentioned in the past, you should go. They have incredible deals on pistols. It's called C like Charlie, Delta, November, CDN Sports. They are in Abilene, Texas. They have an incredible special on a great Smith & Wesson handgun MP. They got this one in 40 caliber, also 9mm for just $3.99. They are great guns. Normally I shoot Glock, by far I shoot Glock. I love this Smith & Wesson MMP. Okay? So, and they have also some great deals also on AR-15. So guys, please, do whatever you can, do it now, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Now, you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca, Zanna. Now we switch to hour number 3, and don't go away. This is going to be about freedom, and also about love for yourself and for your family, and how to obtain pretty much better health and independence in economic, because we need to be economically independence-free. Okay, don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States.FM Network.
Have you ever met someone on an online dating site and thought, wow, this guy is perfect for me, or she is simply amazing, only to find out they were hiding a deep, dark secret? They plan to vote for Hillary. FreedomLovers.us was created for singles who want to exchange ideas and who love for freedom. People who are looking for solutions to create and defend freedom in the real world, and at the same time getting that once-in-a-lifetime chance to find their true soulmate. Whether you are interested in meeting your soulmate, making new friends, networking, or hanging out with that like-minded liberty lover, visit FreedomLovers.us. It's the first free dating site and community. So patriots, don't waste your time with other dating sites. FreedomLovers.us is the place where like-minded singles really click.
Okay, guys, this is hour number 3. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on KTOX 1340 AM and also on the United States.FM network. As I said, this is the hour normally. I try to bring you topics back to our humanity, back a little bit away from politics, a little bit away from guns. That, of course, I love guns, but I wanted to go back a little bit who we are as human beings, why we're doing all this. And we need also to find ways to recuperate, to regenerate, to get our energies back, and to enjoy life a little bit. Otherwise, what is the purpose of all this struggle? So this is the hour about love. And I always say, love is a big word. It can be physical love, spiritual love, and also love for humanity, for our fellow humans. If I to visualize love as a generic, powerful world, I would like to have every human being be happy. I like to be away from diseases, I would like to have them successful. I think this is the difference between a libertarian state of mind from a socialist. Socialist people want everybody miserable, or they want to take your stuff. I would like to have everybody out there be happy, be successful, so we're all successful. That's the idea. Now, look, what are you ranting right now? What's going on? This is about love. Exactly. A few months ago, almost a year ago right now, honestly, we're getting close to a year, I was, by act of God, I believe in God, yes, I'm not ashamed of it, I was introduced to something that really helped me out and in regaining my control of my body, okay? I'm 46, going 47, and, I'm pretty healthy. I have sometimes bad days, sometimes better days, but I realize that after 40, you start to feel that something changes, okay? Now, there's a lot of factors, of course. We also, under my opinion, chemical attack from the environment, and the human beings try to pretty much spraying us with the weather modification, but that's another story. The point is, I found a product that really gave me the opportunity to slow down my aging, at least slow down the oxidative stress in my body. And when I found out about that, I did some researches, and I was pretty much, I'm not a guy easy to sell, okay? I'm a businessman, and I try to always be sure before I open my mouth what I'm talking about. And if I want to share some products or something, I want to be sure it really is something based on science. So anyway, I went to this meeting. It was exactly a meeting, where normally people sit down and they share products. And this was the product, Protandem. I already talked to you about that in the past, but now I can tell you even more, because it's been more than 1 year and I have this pretty much into myself. I can feel it. I can see the difference. I can see the improvements. And also I see as a business model, because why I say business? Because the point is, this is something important for your health, as important for your health, also for your financial health. Because if we are poor and broke, guys, there is no way we're going to be able to help others. And the idea is that love for me is being able to help yourself and help others. That's the idea. Now, let's cut the rant. I talk always so much. Let's talk with a man that it is not just an opinion about this model, but is a success story about Protandem. And also, he can tell us better exactly how many people he's seen with his own eyes in the last 5 years improving their health. His name is Rick Shamway, and he's a Pro 7 of LifeVantage. Rick, are you there?
I am, Luca. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I did 3 minutes and 46 seconds of almost clueless rant, but my heart, I was trying to say really what I feel, because I tell you, I still remember the day I met you. It was July, the weekend of 4th of July of last year, and I was at this house in Snowflake, and a common friend brought me to this product, and I was there ready to listen, and I did my researches, and I was at least convinced enough to try the product, and that was a big start. But let's start a little bit about you. Who is Rick Shamway today as a family man and also as a businessman? And that is pretty much you've been sharing Protandem with humanity the last 5 years.
I have, Luca. Thank you for letting me come on. It's an honor, by the way,
to
be on your show. And guys, I just want to share some information this afternoon with Luca and with all of you that has quite frankly changed my life. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and Protandem made a huge difference in my diabetes and in my glucose levels. But today I just want to share some information with you about what Protandem is, what it does a little bit, and possibly the business opportunity that's associated with it. What you do with this is up to you, but I'm, like Luca said, I'm a father of 6. I am 47 years old as well, Luca.
Wow.
And I was struggling like everybody in Navajo County. Luca, we live in the 13th poorest county in the nation.
Yeah, it's true.
And there's a lot of poverty here, a lot of people struggling to make ends meet. And, in thinking about this, what I was going to share with you today, I've got a little quote from Vladimir Lenin, and he said the best way to crush the middle class was to grind them between the millstones of taxation and inflation.
Yeah, it's true.
And, that's what the government tries to do all the time to us, the little guys. And, just look at the prices of a car in the last 20 years and look at the inflation that's happening and how the heck are you going to make it these days? I was 6 months behind in my house payment when I started this business.
Wow.
I'm a sign guy. I have a sign company. I'm a small business owner. And what's crazy is a plumber friend of mine told me about Protandem. He told me about our company is LifeVantage. And quite frankly, I didn't sleep that night because I thought if this product does what it says it does, I'm all in. And I, like you, I have to do my due diligence. I have to do my research. And it took me a couple of weeks, and everything I saw was positive on there. Started taking it and immediately saw my glucose levels go down, and actually took about a third less insulin now.
Wow, that's great.
So I'm passionate about getting other people on Protandim, not just diabetics, bud. So let me tell you, I didn't sleep the night I heard about this, and here's why. This product, I believe, is a medical breakthrough product. I call it disruptive technology, Luca.
Yes.
Just like the telephone, just like cell phones. When, how many payphone booths do they have at Circle K nowadays?
None.
Yep. Disruptive technology in the cell phone. Our product, Protandim, is the only product that can actually reduce your free radical damage, or they call it, a fancy term is oxidative stress, back down to that of a 20-year-old within 1 month.
Yeah, and if I can say something, because when first time I heard that, I said, all right, okay, great, show me the proofs. And guess what? This is beautiful because it's all proven. It's tell about the website that is there, that is a government website that pretty much there are thousands now, maybe thousands, no, but hundreds of peer studies about proving with universities and science behind that this is true. What is the website?
Absolutely. Let me tell a story, if you don't mind, to illustrate this. But the website is called pubmed.gov, and that stands for Published Medicine, pubmed.gov. I have 5 computers at my sign shop and 3 employees. We're so dependent on computers these days. And a friend of mine was fixing one of my computers, and I said, Tracy, do you keep your options open to making extra money? And she said, absolutely. I can barely make it, with my little computer business. And I said, well, check out this video. And Luca, I'm going to give everyone the website to go look up the video that explains the technology right now.
Please go ahead.
And it's called abcliveit.com. Okay?
Yes.
ABC and then liveit.com. So I pulled up that video, and Tracy's a pretty sharp gal. She's a computer genius. And she instantly saw the potential here with our product. And she said, Rick, she goes, not trying to be skeptical, but everyone says their product does this, that, or the other thing. And I said, the best part of this is we have amazing science behind our product. And she said, my dad is a retired pediatric cardiologist. Could I have him research this for me? I said, absolutely. So she goes to him and she says, hey, Dad, I'm thinking about doing a networking business with a friend of mine, Rick Shamway. And he said, that's okay, hon. Great. Whatever it takes to make extra money. What is it? And she said, well, it's a natural supplement called Protandim. Luca, this is his exact words. He said, honey, let me save you some pain and agony. Don't do that business.
Wow.
He said, I'm an MD. I cannot get behind any natural supplement because they don't have science. Tracy kind of said, well, Dad, Rick said that they have peer-reviewed studies on pubmed.gov. He said, really? So he goes and he researches this for a month straight, 6 to 8 hours a day. Wow. He drove his wife nuts. He's a research freak. I love Dr. Peoples because at the end of that month, he tells his daughter, you call up Rick, you tell him not only are you signing up to do this business, but that I am too.
Wow, that's amazing.
Luca, when he does a presentation, I get pretty excited about it. I'm ready to swipe my card again and sign up again because he compares this. He said Protandim is as big of a discovery as the polio vaccine and penicillin.
Listen, I want to say something,
Sure.
I see with my own eyes, on my own skin, and also some friends' skin. I mean, I have local people around here in Mojave County try the product just a couple of weeks. People with, aging normal problems, but, becomes real problems after a while. And all that said, guys, this product is not intended to cure anything. And I like that. This is not a medication. Doesn't need to have approved by FDA. And they did intentionally, I understand. I was proud of that because, I don't trust the FDA, honestly. They approve so much, many medications that they've been found out after that pretty much they've been damaging our health and even be dangerous. But that's another story. The point is, what you got to lose, try it just a month. And the beautiful thing, this is not like 6 months or 6 years. It's just 30 days. I've seen people in 2 weeks or even sometimes extreme cases in few days, okay? Changing, having incredible improvements in some of their problems, or sometimes many of their problems. Because, as I said, even me, without being a scientist, just seeing that if when these products start to regenerate the cells and slow down the aging of the cells, and the cells can regenerate themselves at the same levels when they were younger, when you were younger, your body has the natural capacity to be healing yourself. Now, you know what I said to Annette, Annette, the lady that she brought me to you guys, I'm open, and that's what I'm asking to my listeners. If you listen to the show, I don't need to be right on everything. All I ask you to, please, follow up on what I'm saying, do your researches, and be open. Because I was ignorant in many matters I'm talking today, but the only difference between being ignorant and being stupid is that at least I was open to learn. And sometimes I'm still wrong, doesn't matter, but at least I have an open mind to try to learn. Seriously, when you're saying this is the most important discovery since probably breakthrough discovery, like in many other fields, could be the penicillin or the cell phone or whatever, I really mean it. And all I'm saying now, people should start to realize that many of our problems, health problems, when you try to patch it up with medication, and this is my opinion, I'm not giving you medical advices, okay? So don't get excited and you want to report me to FDA, go ahead, okay? I don't care. It is true, it's a mafia. The medical, pretty much pharmaceutical industry, most of them, I'm not saying some extreme cases. I understand you still need antibiotics sometimes and some other things. But my point is, they don't want people that they are healed, that they are healthy. They want to have continuous customers. That's the bottom line. And when you find a product like that, it is affordable on top. I mean, the average pill, how much costs? Like the price of a coffee, $1.50 I broke down, okay? I mean, for a little investment a day, you can experiment, try it out. Something that, if that works for you, that would be not even the price of a basic, when you go to the doctor, you just pay for the basic, whatever it is, like, your little visit expense costs you more. I mean, so please continue. I wanted just to say my little 2 cents on this. Continue.
Yeah, thank you, Luca. And guys, if you're listening on the show for the first time, why is it a big deal that we mitigate or lower our oxidative stress or our free radical damage that happens as a process of just eating and breathing? It's at the root cause of almost every disease known to man. The medical profession has known this for years, and there's never been a product that could lower it in any significant amount. I don't care how many antioxidants you take. So when you watch the video, again, that's going to explain the technology, but I will say this about it, Luca. We can't make any claims about curing any disease or preventing any disease, and I could tell you stories for 3 hours from different problems that people have had, including depression, anxiety, and diabetes. But here's the thing. This is the first time the American Heart Association has ever published a natural supplement in their medical journal called Circulation. It's not like the American Heart Association is in on our little scam here. This is powerful stuff that we're talking about. I usually ask people to take it for at least 3 months because sometimes it takes a while for our bodies to undo the damage that's been done over the years. Usually people, it's kind of like the frog in the boiling pot of water. He doesn't know until he's dead. You're going to start feeling better and better, and a lot of time it's when you stop taking it, you go, holy crap, I was feeling better.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I'll tell you this. This, as a business, is incredible. We have major metropolitan cities with very few people as distributors doing this business. The funniest thing is when you watch that ABC video, understand that that's 10 years old. Oprah wanted to do an hour-long show on Protandim about 10 years ago. Dr. McCord, our formulator, he didn't know who Oprah was, and so he didn't call her guys back. Wow. And this would have been a household name already. If Oprah says read a book, the next day it's a bestseller. Yeah. And
if I can say something about the business part, because it is so important. First of all, I want to tell you something, listeners, okay? You know me, I'm here. I am not ashamed to say that, this show and whatever we do in life in general is not free, okay? The concept to be free, nothing is free. Somebody always has to pay. The difference between us and the government, we work for our money. The government is pretty much just stealing from you, okay? That's the bottom line. So this show is supported by work. You know, you can buy my music if you want to for 99 cents or whatever. I have more than 100 songs out there. And also, this is part of what I do for a living. You know, I found this product. I'm a businessman, a business guy. I find products or ideas or services that people would like willingly to buy because there is a benefit. And this is one of the best things I found. You know, I started a business when I came to America over 17 years ago. I worked, I think, only for a month for a company. I was a car dealer for a month, and then I started my own business. I was so proud and happy about it. And from then, I'm so thankful. I got more than I deserve. But my point is, if I had to think between all the business that I have or I had, the main one, this opportunity that I found, this is, I think, is probably the most powerful thing for two reasons. First of all, we are not just selling something. You know, I can sell you a song, I can sell you a T-shirt or whatever. Great things, beautiful. But do you really need it? Yeah, maybe. When you're talking about sharing a product, that you give the opportunity to somebody to regain the function of your body, like when you were a younger man or younger woman, and stay away from doctors, I call that priceless, number one. Number two, what I like about this model, it is not just I buy for a price and I sell for another one. I just share. I don't even want to sell it. I don't touch the product.
Absolutely.
And what I like about it, I'm helping others to sell. For example, now I want to start to help one of my first distributor. If you go to the website, antiaging.fm, www.antiaging.f as Frank, M as Mary, like the radio station. Is one of my distributors, okay? My goal is to help him out. I want to help him out in every way I can. I give him also people that they're interested in to purchase the product, say, hey, go buy from them. Or they have to do a speech or presentation, I'll do it for them. I don't know any model in business, especially when you're a private enterprise business, that you help others. Normally everybody's trying to defend for themselves, you know. This is the first model I found that more you help others, more you reap the benefits with others. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rick.
No, that's true. And you know, Luca, there's 5 people from our little town of Snowflake, Arizona. We have 5,000 people. We have a McDonald's and a stoplight. That's about it.
Yeah.
There's 5 people, a plumber, me, a sign guy, a school teacher, a stay-at-home mom, and a gal that worked for a cell phone company that we've retired now, doing this part-time in 3 to 5 years.
That's amazing.
That's unheard of. Where else can you do that in corporate America? You can't do it.
Oh, man, listen, if you go to corporate America, you want to start to make that type of money, you better have at least $100,000 or $150,000 in some expensive business high-degree school that you still have probably have to pay the debt the next 20 years, okay?
Right.
And you need to, pretty much work as a slave of the, starting from bottom. I don't care what type of degree you have, you're still starting from kissing somebody else, okay? I mean, that's the bottom line. So this is the idea, guys. I want to share with you in this hour. The show is called Love, Guns, and Freedom. We talk about freedom, we talk about rights, legislation, being a good, active citizens, trying to be involved. Great. We talk about guns. That's what I like. And I think it's part of how defending our freedoms. Now, when I talk about love, this is for me another way to share my love. I want to share with you something that I know because I've been testing it on my own skin. And if you go to antiaging.fm, go to the testimonials page. Some of the testimonials are people that I know personally in my community in Mojave County here. I've seen them changing their physical problems in just a few weeks. I have an older guy that he has a heart attack. His name is Lauren, okay? And in just 2 weeks, he could not move his shoulder. He has some sort of I forgot the name. Anyway, some sort of arthritis. He couldn't move his shoulders anymore. In less than a month, his pain was gone completely. I have a person that she's not even my client. I mean, she's a customer, a friend of mine, not a distributor. Her name is Ken Rhodes. I had her many times on the show. This is a lady that she's been on mental medications for probably 30 years. In 1 month, and I have the interview. Go to antiaging.fm. In the testimonials at the bottom of the page, there is a little YouTube video. You can listen to her from her voice. She's from California. In less than a month, She was able to reduce completely, drastically her medication, and for the first time in 6 months, she got out of the house and she went shopping with her husband. That's all I'm saying, guys. I just hope that you have at least the open mind to research, to do your investigation. You're skeptical, that's fine. Be skeptical. But at least think about it. What you got really if this stuff works? What if it's working for you, first of all, and your family? Is it worth it just 30 days to try it out for the price of a coffee a day? I mean, come on. We're not talking that you need to put your second mortgage on the house, okay? So that's my first goal. Then, Rick, you're talking about a business opportunity. I'm just a Pro 3, okay? I'm just starting. I have a lot of things I'm doing, and I've been neglected the last few months. I've been very busy with family, but I'm pretty much seeing the potential that, as you said, there is no other business out there that working really for yourself, without masters, without boss, you can achieve in a few years. Let's spell it out. What is exactly, you're a Pro 7, all right, Rick?
Yes, yeah.
An average, a Pro 7, a good Pro 7, what type of monthly income can get?
That's a great question. Because we're publicly traded,
yes,
we're scrutinized, again, by the government, who isn't.
Yes.
But publicly traded means we're an open book.
Yes.
If these numbers are wrong, someone's going to jail at the corporate level, and they don't want to, I promise you. So
yes,
the average Pro 7 is making $10,500 and something a month. Okay,
I'll bet.
I can find a way to live on that when I was barely making it, guys. I mean, it changed my life forever. And all I got to do is share a wonderful product because I love people. I share it out of love, okay? Like you were saying. And I have actually had so many of my friends thank me, one of them with tears in his eyes for his 14-year-old daughter that had not been able to get out of bed but for an hour a day.
Yeah.
She had fibromyalgia so bad.
Yes.
That it made a huge difference in her life. He's like, Rick, I feel like I've got a daughter again. She went fishing with her friends for the first time. That's what we're sitting on, guys. Disruptive technology. And if you share it, just like you do a good movie. Hey, you got to go check out this movie or a good burger, you know. We all network naturally. Why not take advantage of it? Hollywood's not going to send you a check to tell somebody that Interstellar is a great movie.
Yeah, exactly. And talking about fibromyalgia, I have a lady that also, she's the daughter of my distributor, my friend distributor. It's not mine, it's my friend distributor's Ken. And I like to put names out because these are public things, you know, we do with pride. Ken Rhodes, okay? And his daughter, Rhoda Rhodes. She had fibromyalgia. If you go to antiaging.fm in the testimonials, there is a little 2 minutes and 54 seconds video that his father took over. She's been having fibromyalgia for a few years, this lady. In just less than a month, taking 1 pill a day of Protandim, she was able finally to, as you said, to get out of this bed, start to go back to the workout, to the gym, to have a regular life, while all the other doctors trying to give her medications and things nothing worked out. I mean, guys, seriously, I'm not trying to, this is not something you can fake. This is not like I seen on TV. This is seen as a regular person that is a friend. I know his dad. We were together to the Bundys, standing for the Bundys. Last year I met his father at the standoff against the Fed. He's an old guy with a lot of pride and courage. We stood together to make a point together. And we got together. When I came back from the Bundys and I was able to find about Protandim, I shared with him. And he tried on his own. He had a bad leg, a bad knees, and even after 3 weeks, he was able to walk without cane. And then he said, wow, I need to give this to my daughter. And he bought him a bottle. And the daughter freaked out. Said, wow, Dad, I'm crying. I mean, come on, guys. This is what I'm saying. This is something that, at the end of the day, of course, if you want to buy from the site, it is not even my site. It's one of my distributors, antiaging.fm. You support the show. Just trying this product for a month. You support the show. I'm not trying to hide anything. This is true. This is free market. And right. I'm proud to do that. You know, we don't steal your money. We ask you money in exchange of a product that's worth it. I think it's priceless. By the end of the day, when you pay $40, if you are on auto ship, you know, $50 for regular price for a month, less than the price of a soda, that, by the way, is very bad for you a day, just give it a shot, guys. That's all I'm saying. Come on, keep going. Tell us a little more what's going on. What is after Pro 7?
Okay, so the thing is, you know, my 71-year-old mother is like a Pro 3 in our company.
Wow.
Guys, if you want to make a couple of $100 extra a month, you can do that. My mom's 71 years old. She's a widow. It's not like she gets out and goes and sells this stuff. It made such a difference for her heart that she just shares it because she's passionate about it. And she makes a couple of $100 a month extra. She's on a fixed income of $1,661 a month. That makes a huge difference in her life. And so, Luca, last year, I don't know if you realize this, but just an extra approximately $300 a month would have saved 85% of the people in America from declaring bankruptcy.
Exactly. It is true. It is true.
And I see people here in Snowflake. One gal in her second month in our business, she made $2,000. So it just depends on how fast you want to expose this business to people, how fast you want to share it with them. There's a couple of ways of getting involved. You can be either a customer or you can be a distributor.
Yes.
To be a distributor, it's going to cost you a little bit more. It's $630 plus tax and shipping. It's closer to $700, depending on where you live.
Yeah, but let's not forget to say, because when I was younger, I was evaluating different businesses. You don't pay any type of entry fees. You pay for real products. 90% of the fee, it is for real products that I remember I sold pretty much in a weekend, and I made my money back in less than 48 hours. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the difference, because when you say, okay, $700, normally you think it's a franchise fee. There's no franchise fee here. This is you get real products that you can share with family or normally sell them, and you get your money back, some profit in less than whatever time you can sell them for. That's the difference, number one. And also, I'll tell you something. People say, oh my God, that's a lot of money. Let me tell you something, guys. Let's say you had to open tomorrow a peanuts or popcorn shop in any corner of whatever little town, small town, America. $700, you don't even pay for the fees to your masters to ask for permits between the fire department or the health department or whatever department you need to pretty much kneel down and ask for their permission to operate. $700 in a real business is nothing. In Italy, normally it's not even the tip for the mafia to let you operate for the day, okay, to open the gate. So, guys, this is the beautiful thing. You don't have any type of overhead. You don't have any type of structure to pay. But you have an organization that is publicly traded. You have as you said before, you go to pubmed.gov, you can see science. You don't just see a bunch of hype like you see at night on TV, all these people dressed with, the little scrub like doctors, and then they're just actors. This is real. Dr. McCord, they got a very unique award, a medical award. Can you say that about that?
Yes, yeah. And the funny thing is, my wife probably has more mistakes in her closet than $700.
Exactly.
So, but guys, let me just tell you, I know it's real money though. Okay. When I started this, boy, I was nervous, Luca. I swiped my card and that's about all I had left on it.
Wow.
My wife, bless her heart, told me, Rick, we could live in a tent if we have love. And we have our family.
That's true.
And trying to take some pressure off of me as, the breadwinner of the family. But, I still didn't want to do that. That wasn't a good option for me. And I had been struggling for 4 years and mentally struggling every night. How am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to, get out of the problems that we were in? And I thank my plumber friend, Heath Skinner, every single day for having the courage to just, hey, Rick, let me come talk to you about this. Guys, that's how I share this business. I appreciate Luca letting me be on the radio show to get the word out. But you know how I do this business, Luca, is I just go over I say, hey, what are you doing tomorrow night to a friend of mine? And if they say, hey, nothing, why? I said, I'm coming over. I got to talk to you about something. Mm-hmm. And I'll show them the video and I'll have an adult conversation with them about this wonderful business model called network marketing. I own it now. I used to think it was for people that couldn't get a real job.
Yeah.
And stay-at-home moms. And I was so ignorant of this wonderful industry that's changing people's lives. Did you know, Luca, let me tell you this, 167,000 people a week are signing up for a network marketing opportunity in the United States.
Wow, I wasn't aware. Wow, I wasn't aware of that.
167,000 people a week.
Wow.
Here's the kicker. In our whole company right now, we probably have about 35 to 40,000 distributors in the United States.
It's nothing.
They're nothing. No one knows about it.
Yeah.
In 10 years, this will not be the same opportunity that it is right now. Just like in real estate, guys, location, location, location. Okay? This is, in this business model, it is timing, timing, timing. You want to take advantage of that once-in-a-lifetime wave of growth that's going to hit when we become a household name, when we become a branded product, just like Nike or Apple. When those companies hit a certain amount of sales and they started getting their name out, people were seeking their product out.
Yes.
That will happen with Pro Tandem. And when we become a household name, look out. There will be a wave of people that buy it, and then you're going to hear about it again. And you're going to say one of two things. Man, I'm glad I got involved with that company.
Mm-hmm.
Or, man, I wish I would have gotten involved with that company. I had an opportunity and I missed it.
Exactly. As I said, guys, I'm not going to pitch it too much. Normally when I talk to people, I like to, especially with friends, I just say, guys, you know me enough, okay? I don't even need an extra $40 or $50 for the bottle. By the way, it's not even the profit. It's just a partial of that. I'm doing this, first of all, because I would feel bad if 6 months from now, 1 year from now, maybe your whatever health benefits you could have, you didn't get it because I didn't tell you. Number one. Number two, I see that many people, they change their life completely incredibly in a different way, like yourself, okay? It's real. It is not just somebody I saw on TV. I see people like you. I see Skinner. I see many other people that I met during the meetings. It's only a question how much time you can dedicate. And I tell you something, I do different things in life. I have a retail business on the internet and different things I'm doing. But everything costs a lot of investment. You need to buy the capital. You need to buy thousands, hundreds of thousands, sometimes dollars of investment. And the result is not even guaranteed. Here we're talking about something that it's so limited, the risk, that it's worth to, first of all, to try for yourself. Second, after it works for you, and I pray it works for you like it's working for thousands of people out there, or millions probably, at that point you must make the decision. You want to just keep eating it for yourself or sharing it. That's all it is. I don't even call it sell it. I don't like to even to touch the product. Somebody wants to buy it, I say go to this website. And normally most of the time, I wanted they go buy directly from the website of my friends, distributors. So I say again, if you want to help this show, if you want to try this product, go to antiaging.fm. FM as the radio station, okay? That's all I'm saying. Try one bottle, and you know what? And then let me know. I like to know your feedback, because I have a list of testimonials that I keep track. One guy, I don't want to mention the last name, but his first name is Scott. He is a business owner here in Kingman, okay? And 5 months ago was one of my first trial. He got a bottle, and then I haven't heard from him anymore. I don't like to pitch. You try, if it works, fine, whatever. He called me like probably 2 weeks ago. He said, Luca, you have no idea what's happening to me. I said, what's going on, Scott? You remember the bottle of stuff you gave me, Pro Tandem? I take 2 pills a day. I said, wow, you take double. Yes, because I'm a big guy. He's kind of, heavy. And my left eye, he has a left eye that he could not even function. I don't know exactly what problem, but I couldn't see. Now he's able to see. Okay? That's what I'm saying. And as I say, guys, I'm not trying here to give any type of medical explanation. All I'm saying that people are having real benefits. And at that point, the guy doesn't need the money. Does he want to share it, but whatever. The point is he got 4 bottles the other day, okay? Just to have an extra in his, probably in his safe, he's going to keep it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my point, guys. And Rick is here as a real testimonial of how life can change in just a few years of effort to be free. Because, Rick, if we are not free economically, I always say, if you want to help others, first you need to be able to help yourself. If you want to be helping others, you must be, first of all, healthy, so you have the energy to dedicate your energy to other people, number one. And you need to be wealthy to have time and energy to volunteer for others or to do your civic duty. If you want to be active citizen, like we should be, just being involved. If you work 9 to 5 for minimum wage, I'm sorry, guys, I understand. You don't have the energy and the time to even do more what you're doing. It's way too much already. So this is the solution. That's why I wanted to bring this product in the show again. Because we're talking about freedom. This elite, these banksters, this global government, they want us, as you said at the beginning, the middle class, the fiber, what used to be America, they want to destroy us. That's what Obama has been doing the last few years, destroying the leftover of this middle class. Now the middle class is pretty much became poor class. And you're not going to become independent, economically independent, if you work 9 to 5 for just a regular average, paycheck. And don't get me wrong, if you do this, keep doing it till you can find something better. But that's not the answer. So that's all I'm saying, guys. You don't need to be a millionaire or have a $100,000 loan from a bank to start a business. You don't need that. Go to antiaging.fm or just send me an email. Go to my website, lovegunsfreedom.com. Send me an email if you have questions. And then if you want, I'm going to put you in contact directly with Rick. Rick, that's what I like about this model. You've been helping me out every time I need help. You are completely another level. You're a pro 7. You're like my great-great-grandfather. And I'm just a regular guy here. Just starting this from me while I'm doing other things. But you're always there to help. Please, go ahead. Tell us about why it's so beautiful, this part.
Well, Luca, in corporate America, when someone reaches the upper levels of management and their check gets bigger, they pull up the ladders. They take away that opportunity for everyone else. There's a lot of territorial pissing that goes on in those types of environments. And in this business model, you have the guys at the top and the guys in the middle reaching down to the newest person and saying, what can I do to help you? We're throwing ladders down to help you up. What a different concept. And, it's not true what they say. Only the people at the top make the money in network marketing. And let me explain that. I got a guy here in Snowflake that I did not sign up, but someone else signed up, and he's underneath me. Mm-hmm. He makes $10,000 a month more than I do.
Wow.
Okay. He worked harder. I was working 60 hours a week, and I had just a couple of hours a week to devote to this. Okay. He quit his job after 1 year being a school teacher. He had replaced his income after 1 year, and now he's a pro 8
wow.
in our company. So, the 40-50 rule here applies, and I hope you guys listening, I hope this resonates with you like it did with me. You can work 40 or 50 hours a week for 40 or 50 years, and then you try and retire on 40 or 50% of what barely got you by.
Yeah.
And that's a broken system. This is the 3 to 5 year plan. In 3 to 5 years, you can literally go do what you want, when you want, as long as you want, with whoever you want. I want to give my time back to my country. I'm like you, Luca. I absolutely think that we're headed in the wrong direction. Money's not good. Money's not evil. It's neither one. There's good people do good things with money, and I believe that we could unleash an army of good people that have developed more leadership skills, and what a powerful force for good that's going to be. And I don't care what network marketing company you do, guys, whether you do this one or some other one. I really don't. But you need to find a good one. They need to have the right elements. It needs to have a unique product. It needs to have the right timing. I tried it before. I failed miserably. And it was because of timing and product. I got in when there was 1.5 million distributors in a lot of those other ones. Mm-hmm. That's the time I found out about it. And this one it's amazing. So same guy, and I promise I'm just a average guy, okay? Same guy, same effort, vastly different results in LifeVantage because of two things: Pro Tandem, the product, and the timing.
Yes. And also,
it's a kind of a convergence of wonderful things happening all at the same time. And the fact that you guys are listening to this, Luca, I'm going to go along with what you said. This was a matter of prayer for me. I was praying for something to help me get out of my situation, and I know that the Lord led Heath Skinner to me. I barely knew him. I'd been to 3 barbecues with him, and we talked politics the whole time. But honestly, the fact that I heard about this, I didn't want this to be my answer. I'll be honest with you. So,
what's going on here?
I don't know. Good music, though.
Center Frets. Go ahead, please. Call it.
I was just going to say, I didn't want network marketing to be my answer. But it was. Sometimes the Lord throws us, the bone, and we don't want that to be the answer, but it is. And this might not be for them. It might not be for your listeners. But if even one person catches the vision of this, and that changes their life, then that's why I'm on the call here with you tonight. And I'll tell you this is the last thing I'm going to say. The only difference between death and taxes is that death doesn't get worse every time Congress meets. Our taxes, the IRS has become so powerful now that I consider them the fourth branch of the government.
It is.
And they're just crushing us. I had a good friend of mine down in Phoenix area that he had signed up for Obamacare, and the IRS audited him, and they actually cleared his bank account out because it was connected to Obamacare.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't think that they'll come after you. The taxes are getting worse and worse, and so is inflation. You've got to think outside the box, guys. We've got to do something different, and I believe that this is the best chance that the average person is ever going to see in their lifetime to really change their financial future. And I'll debate that with anyone. So will my son, who's 24 years old, who he told me, Dad, don't do this. Don't do network marketing. You've tried it before. It doesn't work. Mm-hmm. He now loves this business. He's seen us go from rags to, I wouldn't say riches, but guys, I honestly don't care about being rich. I just don't want to ever be in that position again. Not being able to pay, my house payment, my car payment, and, all those things that, money, it ranks right up there with oxygen. You got to have it these days.
And when you say something, it's so important. Sometimes I don't like the fact people think, money, they're so evil. No, wait a second. Money, they are just a tool, like a gun. They are no evil, no bad, no good. They are a tool. Money, first of all, how you make this money? You're stealing the money, you're robbing a bank, or you're offering a product or a service that people, they're thankful. In business, I believe ethics is the most important thing. I'm here to provide a product or a service that people, they are happy to pay out of their free will. Exactly the opposite of most of the governments out there, okay? They don't provide anything. They just pretty much coerce you to get your money. Now, number one. Number two, more important, what you said, it's not about, I want to be rich. No, I want to be free. And to be free means that I have the time I can spend with my family, with my friends. I could have made different choices in life. I could have been work for corporate or become a lawyer, do other things. And at the day, even, sometimes, times can get tougher when you're a small business guy. But I treasure the freedom, independence that I was able to achieve the last few years since I came to this country, that it is not about how much money I can stash under the mattress or I can look at my bank account. It's, as you said, the feeling that today I don't have to work unless I want to. And I can spend the time in things I can do. That's why I'm able today to do a radio show. I'm able to do, for example, my activism, because I was lucky enough to be able to avoid to be trapped in the 9-to-5 system. That's what I'm saying. And I wish everybody could find their ways to do that. If I had to start again from scratch, coming to America like I was a fresh immigrant in October of 1998, and I had this chance of Protandem and Live Vantage, probably I would have started and I would just done this. So I'm not saying that what I did was wrong, but tell you, this is much easier. You don't need to risk thousands and thousands of dollars, to make a dollar later. Okay,
and bless other people's lives.
Exactly.
That's the thing we forget a lot of times. In the dog-eat-dog world of corporate America, you're fighting each other to get to the top. In this one, you're grabbing each other and locking arms with some of your friends, and you can go change the world that way. It's a powerful concept, guys, and I have never been happier in my adult life, in my career, and I loved making signs. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Great profession, but the friendships that I've developed with wonderful people like you, Zanna, and man, just changing people's lives, watching people get out of the situations that they're in and watching them evolve into quite amazing people. That's this business model. So
let me share with you something about my physical, how I seen reacting after just 2 months on Protandem, because this is something that, it's so important to be healthy. And especially when you are right now, you realize that, we're getting older. you got to take care of kids or family or whatever in general. But more important, you want to be independent, okay? I don't want to walk with a stick unless I really have to. So I don't train regularly. I'm kind of a busy guy. I don't go to gyms, but I like to jog, okay? Once in a while I like to jog. And I measure my aging with my mile. I like to do a few times during the week my mile, and I measure the time. Okay, after 2 months, almost 2 months, I was taking Protandim, and I will post a video out pretty soon, probably next week. I started to get my mile that I run with my boots and my Glock and my 2 magazines. I never change my dress. That's the way I pretty much live around here. So nothing fancy. I'm not dressed like some sort of a racer. I'm just regular, my country living. I can do my 1 mile in this type of outfit for 7 minutes and 10 seconds, and I'm almost 47.
Wow.
I'm not a professional, but I tell you, before, after half mile in this condition, trying to keep the type of rhythm, I would be collapsing. I don't know what happened, but I read what happened. The glutathione, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the right term?
It's glutathione.
Glutathione, thank you. See, I'm not even that good even talking about this, but I know that works. I know that after 90 days, your level of glutathione, whatever it's called, increases dramatically just taking 1 pill a day of Protandim. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right, and that's one of those master, enzymes there that our bodies stop producing as much as we get older, and so thank you, Luca. That is absolutely I could go on the science for hours. Let me just give you an analogy, Luca, of how this works to try and. This works for me because I'm I'm not a scientist or a doctor. Mm-hmm. When you want your car to go down the road, you put in gas and your engine is going to mix in oxygen and it's going to burn that fuel with the gas. You're going to get two things. You're going to get the energy to go down the road and you're going to get exhaust. That exhaust is toxic. Our bodies are no different. When we eat food, when we breathe air, we get two things. We get energy. Our body converts that food and that oxygen to energy, and then we get a byproduct called free radicals.
Yes.
And those free radicals are toxic. They are damaging us at the cellular level, actually at the DNA level. And when our DNA is damaged, it can't heal itself like it used to be able to when we were younger. That's why you could run all day and not get tired when you were young and not be sore the next day.
Exactly.
We have professional athletes. There might be some of you that are in good health. And why do I need to take this, guys? We have a lot of professional athletes that are seeing amazing results. Their recovery time is significantly improved.
I read that this is what I like about publicly traded company. They put all this information out. It is not just some sort of a secret. The Department of Special Operations of the Navy, a few years ago, they were testing Protandim on special forces. I mean, that's something that says a lot, okay? Also, another thing I tell you, me that I am not special forces at all, I'm a regular guy. As I said, I don't train. After 30 days, I was starting to take Protandim. I felt this sort of extra rush of energy, especially during the afternoon, that normally I used to be tired after I work all the morning. And I started to do my challenge, push-ups challenge, that you can see on YouTube. Just put on YouTube Zanna Protandim push-ups. You're going to be able to find it. And 46 years old, pretty much I was able to do out cold. No warm-up, no real training. I mean, this is just pretty much me doing things since I was, when I was young. Anyway, you watch almost 50 push-ups with no editing, real life. And I couldn't do that before Protandim. That's all I can say. Go check it out. This is not a game, okay?
Yeah. Hey, Luca.
Yes.
Okay, so this is an important aspect of I can talk about the product or the business, either one. I hope that you'll have me back sometime. But we have a system that is easy to follow, that the average person can do this business. Not everybody's, a radio personality like yourself.
I'm not personality. I'm just a radio guy with an accent. But thank you very much.
You're a radio guy, and I love you.
Thank you.
But the system, I used to just kind of pass over that, and it's so vital that we have something that people can plug into and be successful. When you buy a franchise like McDonald's, first of all, you're going to pay $1.5 million just to get it.
Yeah.
And then they're going to tell you exactly where to put the French fry machine.
Yeah.
They're going to tell you exactly where to put the Coke machine, and they have a system. And they have a very high success ratio in their franchise model.
And it doesn't make you healthier, by the way. McDonald's makes you sick, okay?
It doesn't. But it's pretty good food. I will tell you this. We have a system that if you plug into the system and you do what we tell you to do, you will be successful. I will be happy to give out my phone number as well to some of your
Go ahead,
listeners.
please.
If they would like to call me, I'd be happy to visit with them. It is 928-243-2929. You can text me. We can communicate through text or phone calls. Now, if I don't answer the phone, my promise is that I'll always get back to you. If sometimes we get a little busy, I will tell you there's days that go by, Luca, where my phone doesn't ring.
Yeah.
And that's part of this system is I create leaders out of the people in my organization so that I can go to, the beach with my family. I can go to an activist meeting and not worry about my time anymore. And so what you want to do is you want to plug into the system. You want to go to the trainings, just like anything. You've got to get trained.
Yes.
And that's the key to success. I don't care what professional athlete you are. Tiger Woods, when he was about 8 years ago, best golfer in the world, he's sitting there warming up for one of his big tournaments and just crushing the ball, Luca, and perfect right down the middle. And, this guy walks underneath the rope, and he went out and he whispered something into Tiger's ear. And then he went back, and I was wondering who that was. Well, I saw Tiger just adjust the way he was holding that club just a little bit. And that was his coach, his swing coach. The best golfer in the world still had training.
Yes, it's true. It is true, like everything. Listen, I want to thank you, Rick, first of all, for taking the time to also share this information. Because, as I said, this is something that, for me, it is important in our battle and struggle for freedom. We cannot be free unless we have economic freedom and also, of course, physical freedom from diseases and from medication. This is my personal humble opinion. Now, I want to just say, since you're here, I would like to close the show. People, as I said, I'm not ashamed. I am proud distributor of Protandim, and we work together. This is like a team. That's why I like this model. We don't compete with each other, but we work with each other. Rick, it's way above me. He's the one pretty much, like, as I said, my great-grandfather is here to help me out. And he's helped me to answer to the question that maybe I'm not being so qualified enough to even answer to you, but he can do it for you. And it's still we get the most important goal that we want you to try. That's the bottom line. Now, to finish the show, something that normally I always put during the final hour, it's about the freedom-loving singles. My project, this is really free for you guys because I'm paying for it, okay? And the way I can pay for this because I can sell Protandim, okay? So try it out. freedomlovers.us. The first network for freedom-loving singles who want to pretty much network with each other. Even if you're married, if you're not singles, and you don't want to maybe find the love, you can find friends, you can network, you can sell stuff. There is a classified section. You can post as a free market. I invite you to post products, lawful products there. You can put a video. You have video messenger. You have blogs, and it's called freedomlovers.us. It's 100% free. There is no membership. But as I said, nothing's free. Somebody has to pay for it. So I'm paying this for you guys because I really would like to create a community of freedom-loving singles. I don't care which religion. I don't care which race. I don't care where you're from in the world. All I believe that we respect each other and we believe in freedom. As simple as that. And the way I can do this, because as I said before, I offer you products, services, music, whatever I can offer you that you may enjoy to appreciate it. And that's why we can do this business. Rick, I want to thank you again, my friend. And please give one more time, the last time before we close, your phone number, how they can reach you.
Yes, sure. It's 928-243-2929.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Rick. Thank you, guys. God's willing, I'll talk to you next Sunday. You've been listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on KTOX 1340 AM and on UnitedStates.fm network. Ciao.